Welcome back to Only Talk Sports. And tonight we have the NBA playoffs in 2023 Western Conference second round game 6 between the Denver Nuggets and the Phoenix Suns. This should be a fantastic game. It's a must win or go home for the Phoenix Suns. They have to win, and it's on their own floor, so we'll have to see if they can get it done. But we saw Boston facing elimination, and they went on the road and beat the Philadelphia 76ers to tie that series up 3-3. And now we're going to a game 7. And as Jackson Johnson says, thanks for being here, Jackson. He says, well, the Sixers have lost and is on to game 7. Unfortunately, I have a feeling it will be another blown lead in a playoff series for Doc Rivers. You never know. That could be the case. It would be a horrible look, unfortunately, for Doc Rivers in Philadelphia because they have not been able to go far in the playoffs, and he hasn't either. But we'll have to see. Maybe they can get it done, but it will be tough at Boston. But here we've got Denver and we've got Phoenix. Can the Suns find a way to survive and advance and be able to have a game 7 at Denver to potentially still have a chance to win the series? We'll have to see. But the ball is about to be tipped off between Jokic and Jock Landale, and the ball is tipped, and the ball will be with the Denver Nuggets first. They have the ball on the road at the Phoenix Suns. It should be a great game. 11:50 to go in the first quarter. Jamal Murray inside down low to Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and he lays it in off the glass, and we have a 2-0 early Denver Nuggets lead. 11:30 to go in the first quarter, but then on the other end, Cameron Payne, he splashes home the 3. So it's 3-2. Phoenix is ahead of Denver. 11:20 to go in the first. That will be a good look for the fans of Phoenix getting on their feet and trying to support their Suns, hoping that they can survive and advance to game 7. That's what the playoffs is all about. But on the other end, Michael Porter Jr., he lays it in, and that puts Denver back in front 4-3. Devin Booker, he has the basketball driving, and him and KD have been everything for Phoenix with Chris Paul out. And unfortunately, Chris Paul is out tonight as well. Jamal Murray down the floor quickly for Denver to Jokic, down to Porter Jr. again, and they lay it in 6-3. And Denver has a 3-point lead over Phoenix. Besides Cameron Payne's 3, Phoenix is not getting any shots to fall. And Denver, they're moving the ball around, passing the ball, and looking very comfortable on the road early. Cameron Payne whips in the corner to Landry Shamet for 3, and his 3 is off the mark. And Aaron Gordon has the rebound for Denver down the floor all the way to the rim. Gordon going up strong. He's off the mark looking for a foul. He's not going to get it, and Kevin Durant has the basketball, bringing it up the floor over to Landry Shamet for 3, and his shot is off the mark. And Jock Landale, he tries to get that rebound, but he cannot rip it down. Now Gordon with the basketball for Denver, still up 6-3 for the Nuggets. 10-10 to go in the first quarter. Gordon with KD on him. His shot is off the mark again. Fast-paced action early, but not a lot of points. Cameron Payne down the floor all the way to the rim, and he lays it in 6-5. And Cameron Payne has the first 5 points of the ball game for the Phoenix Suns. He's playing well, very confidently. That's a good sign for the Phoenix Suns if they want to win, to be able to get players like Cameron Payne and Landry Shamet going on the offensive end to take the pressure off of Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. On the other end, Denver cannot splash home a 3, and KD has the rebound down the floor. 9:40 to go in the first quarter. He's being guarded by Aaron Gordon. Kevin Durant surveying at the top of the key. Now it's down low. Landry Shamet and Jamal Murray get tied up, and Denver steals the ball. Caldwell-Pope down the floor, and he lays it up and in. No off glass. He just lays it in 8-5 Denver. That is a nice-looking play by Kentavious Pope. That is a fantastic play. Caldwell-Pope has been a really solid player for the Denver Nuggets in these playoffs series and in these playoff games. He has been huge, making it where it's not having to be Jokic, where it's not having to be Jamal Murray like Phoenix has had to do, where it's been all of their guys on the bench have just not been able to step up at a high level. It's definitely been a struggle for them overall, where you're seeing with the Denver Nuggets, they're getting so many contributions from other players. That is exactly what you have to have. You just can't have your superstars doing everything, and then your bench is not able to contribute as well. But we are seeing Denver contributing at a high level with their role players, with their complementary players. But with the Phoenix Suns, they've had some struggles, but Cameron Payne with the first 5, that's a good look. And now Jock Landale from the Devin Booker pass, he slams it home, 8-7. Phoenix down by 1. That's a good dunk by Jock Landale. He's another guy that needs to get involved as well, and he can. Denver, all 8 of their points are in the paint, and that's not going to get it done either. You have to be able to defend the paint at a higher level. You cannot give easy buckets up. Jamal Murray from outside, he's not able to knock down that shot. Landry Shamet, he's got the rebound. Now Phoenix back the other way. Devin Booker all the way to the rim. Nobody stopped him, and he was able to lay it in 9-8, and Phoenix is back in front. 8:30 to go in the first quarter. It's been a frenetic start to the game. Both teams are playing at a high level. There's up and down action. That's exactly what you want to see in the NBA playoffs, especially when you have an elimination game like this if Phoenix is not able to win. Jeff is here. Thanks for being here as well. He says, I'm here and ready to go. I really appreciate it. We've got a great game on deck. A great game earlier with Boston and Philly. Not the best offensive performance from either team, but Jason Tatum came alive in the fourth. And he was able to beat Philadelphia single-handedly in that fourth quarter. Unbelievable comeback for Boston to keep that series alive. Jokic on the other end for Denver. He is fouled. Maybe going to get some free throws. I'm not 100% sure there. Maybe not. I don't know if they're going to call it on the floor. It looked like he was trying to go up for a shot, but they're probably going to get Jock Landale for that foul before he threw it up. So, yes, no free throws. Still 9-8. Phoenix is up by 1 over Denver. 8:10 to go in the first quarter. Porter Jr. for 3. His shot's off the mark. Kevin Durant racking up another rebound. Down the floor. Kevin Durant tries to get to Jock Landale, but a good steal by Jokic. Jokic almost turns it over, though, with a travel, but he is able to get to Caldwell Pope before he did turn it over. Now Jamal Murray has it back to Jokic at the top of the key. Over to Jamal Murray in the corner, and Murray, he knocks down the 3. 11-9, Denver over Phoenix. 7:45 to go in the first quarter. Now Cameron Payne down the floor, and a sweet reverse layup by Cameron Payne, and 1. 11-all. That was a fantastic drive by Cameron Payne. He's got 7 quick points early for the Phoenix Suns, looking really confident. And that's going to be huge for Phoenix if he steps up and has a pretty solid game, if he's able to put up a decent amount of points, because that's exactly what Phoenix needs, is more of their depth players, their complementary players, to be able to put up points because their starters are having to do so much. Cameron Payne, his free throw is up. And his free throw is off the mark. In and out. Got to make your free throws. That is definitely not a good look. You got to be able to knock down your free throws. This is the NBA playoffs after all. But Cameron Payne still having a solid start to the game with 7 points, 3 of 3 from the field. But on the other end, Jokic playing as well as ever. He lays it in effortlessly. 13-11, and Denver's back in front. Under 7:30 to go in the first quarter. Now Landry Shamet over to Kevin Durant. He's driving in back to Shamet for a wide open 3, and Shamet splashes it home. 14-13, and the Suns are back in front. And the role players for Phoenix are doing a good job early, and that's how they're going to win, because once you do get KD and Booker going, presumably that will go a long way in helping them win. And they are at home, and they won the first 2 home games in this series, so we'll see if they can keep the series alive. Jokic, though, on the other end with another bucket, and you can tell Phoenix is just not able to guard him one-on-one. He has so much offensive skill. Denver 15, Phoenix 14. 6:50 to go in the first quarter. Jock Landale tried to get it to Landry Shamet. There's a steal by Caldwell Pope. And Caldwell Pope with a sick reverse. And he laid it in 17-14. How did he get that shot to go in? That was insane. What a play by Caldwell Pope. That was a fantastic play. Now you've got KD on the other end, and he is fouled going up. 6:34 to go in the first quarter. 17-14 Denver over Phoenix. And we have our first timeout. What a start to the game. Both teams playing at an extremely high level. That's exactly what you want to see. Nana is here. I'm here tonight. Thank you so much, Nana. I really appreciate you for stopping by. We've got a fantastic game. I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure you are as well. But I really appreciate you for being here for sure. But we have a fantastic game. I really appreciate everyone for being here so far. And I'm sure this is going to be a great game. The Ohio State says, what's up, Only Talk Sports? I'm doing good. How are you doing? Really appreciate you for stopping by. But we've got some great games. What more can you ask for? And a lot of people, they want to see some Game 7s. And we're going to get a Game 7 with Boston and Philly. We could get a Game 7 here with Denver Phoenix if Phoenix can get the job done and win this game. And I think it's very possible that they can. They have the talent to get it done. They have the players to get it done, but it's all about going out there and with a complete team effort. Yes, you're shorthanded. You don't have every player out there on the floor. That is tough, but there's nothing you can do about the players that are on the floor. They just got to get the job done, and they are capable players for sure. Landry Shamet, Cameron Payne, they are capable of scoring the basketball at a relatively high level. Are they elite players? No, but they are guys that can score. It's just about going out there and believing you can and being able to help the rest of your teammates out, especially your stars in Booker and Durant, because you could tell they were fatigued in game 5. They were definitely fatigued in game 5, and there just was not enough production from the rest of the team. And that's why Denver handled Phoenix. They easily won that game. I mean, it was just one of those games where Denver got contributions from their whole entire team. That's about all you can say, because Jamal Murray, he didn't even have his best game. I think he did end up with 19 by the end of the game in game 5, but you saw Bruce Brown going out there scoring 25 points. Caldwell Pope had some nice plays. Porter Jr., just so many guys. And then Jokic had a triple-double. You're not going to beat Denver if all those guys are playing at that high of a level. Now, obviously, you're not on your friendly confines anymore. Denver is on the road now, and Phoenix has played extremely at home so far in the series, but you saw in game 3, Devin Booker and Kevin Durant had to put up a combined over 80 to 85 points. It was, I think, like 87 points combined. And then you saw in game 4, Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, they played well again, but Landry Shamet did step up and help them out. But so far in this game, Phoenix is only down by 3 at 17-14, but Cameron Payne and Landry Shamet have done some nice things early, but eventually you are going to have to start getting Kevin Durant and Devin Booker going as well. But it is early in the game. Phoenix, nowhere in any danger, only being down by 3. But if you're Denver, if you want to end this series, it would be great for them to be able to go in and get this win and not even have to have game 7, because then you could have more rest if you want to move on to the next series having as much rest as possible. But if you're Phoenix, you want to put that pressure on Denver. You want to beat them and give yourself a chance. Even though it's at Denver, it's still possible. Just because it's at Denver in game 7 doesn't mean Phoenix will have a chance. So hopefully for Phoenix fans, they can play really hard and at least get to a game 7. So both fan bases, they definitely want to see different results tonight, just like we always do in games, but we're going to have to see which team's going to prevail. You kind of feel like Denver, they have the more depth, but still Phoenix has not given up so far in the series. But the injuries are starting to become a problem. The depth is a problem. So we are going to have to see if Phoenix can get the job done. But right now they are down 17-14, 6:34 to go in the first quarter. And Kevin Durant, I think he will be at the foul line for 2 free throws. And he is a great free throw shooter. He's got his signature shimmy at the line, and he knocks down free throws at a high rate. One of the best players in the NBA at free throws for his size, and his first free throw is predictably a swish, nothing but nylon. 17-15, Phoenix is down by 2, and unfortunately for Phoenix, another problem. As we mentioned, Chris Paul's out, so is DeAndre Ayton as well. That is awful news, but Jock Landale, he's going to have to step up and do some nice things for Phoenix to have a shot. We probably will see Bismack Biyombo as well in this game. And Kevin Durant, he hits both free throws. So it's 17-16. Phoenix is down by 1 point. 6:30 to go in the first quarter. And Jamal Murray, he's confidently bringing the basketball off the floor, getting more confident than ever after his injury. And down the floor, Caldwell Pope off the Nikola Jokic pass. How did he lay that in? 19-16. Caldwell Pope is doing some nice things. Phoenix on the other, Cameron Payne to Jock Landale. He lays it in 19-18, and it's a 1 point game again. 6 to go in the first quarter. Aaron Gordon bringing the ball to the floor, finally hands it off to Jamal Murray. But definitely Phoenix hanging in there right now, getting some good contribution from their complimentary players. Aaron Gordon, he loses the basketball, but I do think they call a foul on Jock Landale. Phoenix thought they got it clean, but they are not going to give it to him. And you can tell sometimes still in these NBA games, not always about the offense. You saw Boston beat Philly 95-86. That was a low-scoring game. Maybe you could say it was some bad offense, but probably some good defense there as well. But will be interesting to see how high-scoring of a game this is. We've seen some high-scoring games in the playoffs, but also some low-scoring games, maybe due to bad offense or because of great defense. But so far, this has been a relatively high-scoring game to start. And predictably, Bismack Biyombo, he is coming in for Jock Landale with DeAndre Ayton out. 5:55 to go in the first, and Denver did miss the first free throw. Aaron Gordon, he sometimes struggles at the stripe. He can hit free throws, but he is not one of the most consistent free throw shooters in the world, so we'll have to see. if he can hit the second free throw for the Denver Nuggets. It will be really important to hit your free throws for both teams. Free throws are key in big games. And Aaron Gordon, however, is not able to hit the second free throw either. So both free throws are missed. Aaron Gordon could not hit either free throw, and Phoenix has the ball with a chance to retake the lead again. This game has been going back and forth. Both teams exchanging lead changes. And Devin Booker knocks down the three. 21-19. Phoenix is up by 2 over Denver. What a shot by Booker. And you don't want the book to get going. That could be a problem for Denver because he can get hot in a hurry. Aaron Gordon at the top of the key. Passes to Jamal Murray. Murray going off the screen set by Jokic. Back to Jokic on the pick and pop. He fakes into the lane. His floater's short. He gets it back and lays it in. He is so big and large. He's able to just swallow up that board and lay it in with almost no effort, it looks like. But still, Jokic is playing hard. 21 all, tie game. 5:10 to go in the first quarter. You've got Devin Booker at the top of the key again. He pulls back from three, and he misses that one. It looked dead on, but it was not able to drop. Landry Shamet, he does get the offensive rebound. Now Cameron Payne in the corner for three. And Cameron Payne hits another one. 24-21, Cameron Payne. He's having a great start to this game. I think he's got double digits. Yes, 10 points, 4 of 4 from the field. That is a great sign for Phoenix fans to see Cameron Payne lighten it up early. Now Jamal Murray on the other end with a step back three of his own, and he can't knock it down. Now Landry Shamet has the rebound going back the other way. 4:30 to go in the first quarter. Now Kevin Durant down low. His shot is off the mark. It was a great look for KD, but just could not get it to fall. Now Jamal Murray on the other end being guarded by Devin Booker for the Suns. Jamal Murray trying to post up Booker, trying to get in the lane. Now kicks to Jokic. Jokic on Biyombo. Gets bombed, and he barely misses the shot, but Kevin Durant couldn't end up with the ball. Back to Jokic, and Jokic scores the second time. 24-23. You can't give Jokic more shots. The more attempts you give him, he's finally going to make them. He's already got 8 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists, and we're only 8 minutes into the game. Kevin Durant, he airballs a mid-range shot. He was looking for a foul, but he's not going to get it. Michael Porter Jr. off the dribble into the lane, and his shot is off the mark, but there is a foul. So he's going to have 2 free throws. He will have 2 free throws there. We'll see if Denver's able to knock down their foul shots this time. But right now, both teams are playing some fast basketball, which you want to see. You like that up and down action for sure. It's definitely meaning more than likely this will be a game that's on the higher scoring end. But I think that Phoenix is holding their own because their complementary players are getting the job done. But can it stick for a whole game? We're going to have to see because Denver, again, they have the depth. But it's going back and forth right now. Both teams playing at a high level, feeling each other out. So we're going to have to see. But Michael Porter, he does hit the first free throw. So it's a tie game, 24-24. We've had to have already had like 6 lead changes by now, been back and forth. Michael Porter averaging 13 points per game in this series. He's been playing some solid basketball for Denver, and he hits both free throws to make up for Aaron Gordon's missing 2 free throws earlier in the game for Denver. So Denver's back in front. 25-24, 3:40 to go in the first quarter. Landry Shamet, he swings the ball down low to Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant with a turnaround jumper. His shot's off the mark again. He is cold to start. He's about the only player that has not been a factor so far outside the 2 free throws for Phoenix. Kevin Durant is cold. He's only got 2 points. And on the other end, Aaron Gordon all the way to the rim and down low. He lays it, and that is where he is at his best, down low. He's getting better at shooting, but he is a great player in the paint. Kevin Durant on the other end. And just as I say that he's struggling, he still can't knock down the shot, but it looked like he almost had it, but it rolled off the rim. But Bismack Biyombo taps it back home. So it's 27-26. Phoenix is down by 1 again. 3 to go in the first. Bruce Brown's into the game after having a fantastic last game for Denver with around 25 points. He swings to Jokic down low. 2:50 to go in the first quarter. Ball is out of bounds, and they're going to call it off of Phoenix. They say that Phoenix poked it out, but Jokic, he did lose the basketball, but they're going to give him the benefit of the doubt. So it's still going to be Denver basketball. 2:50 to go in the first quarter, and we have a TV timeout. Some great basketball action to start this game. It's been a great first quarter. Both teams playing at a high level. But I think it is a good sign for Phoenix that they're only down by 1 right now, and Kevin Durant only has 2 points. That's a good sign because you're getting production from Cam Payne. You're getting production from Landry Shamet, Jock Landale. Bismack Biyombo's in the game right now. We'll have to see if he can start getting some contributions in. But this is how Phoenix is going to win. because you're going to have these role players scoring the ball. I would predict for Phoenix, if they're going to win, they're probably going to have more than likely 2 or 3 players not named Devin Booker and Kevin Durant with double-digit points. And they already have one with Cameron Payne. They've already got one player that is a role player in double digits. If they can get 2 more and get around 3 players that don't normally score the basketball at a high level for Phoenix, and they can all score around 15 points, that would be huge. And then if Devin Booker has a big game scoring around 35, and if Kevin Durant can get around 25, Phoenix can win. But if Cameron Payne's the only guy that's really doing anything besides Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, I don't know if that's going to be enough, because looking at Denver, you just feel like their depth is going to find a way to win out in the end. Yes, this game's on the road, and Denver has been a much better team at home in this series, but we're still going to have to see Phoenix. Can they show that they can win without DeAndre Ayton? Because they had DeAndre Ayton in game 3 and 4, and Phoenix was able to win both those games at home. Now they don't have DeAndre Ayton or Chris Paul. So the quartet, the quadruples, whatever you want to call them, the teammates that they've got, Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, Devin Booker, and you also have Kevin Durant. Those are supposed to be the 4 guys that do everything for Phoenix for the most part. But 2 of those guys are out. And yes, you could say maybe they're the least important of the 4, but Chris Paul, he runs the team, and he does such a great job still at his age of passing the ball to his teammates. Yes, Devin Booker and Kevin Durant can pass, and yes, Cameron Payne is filled in admirably, but Chris Paul is a fantastic passer. He sets up his teammates. And then DeAndre Ayton, he's the only one that can really guard Jokic at all. And he didn't even really guard Jokic that well, but he at least was trying. Unfortunately for Phoenix right now, they have no DeAndre Ayton, so Jock Landale and Bismack Biyombo are going to have to do the best that they possibly can to be able to guard Nikola Jokic. And if they can't guard him at a high level, Jokic could go for 35 or 40 points. He's already got 8 points right now, and he's still scoring the ball at a high level. So we're going to have to see. It's going to be really interesting. Definitely a great first quarter, and neither team's really separating themselves right now, and there's no danger time for either Denver or Phoenix. But you just feel like for Phoenix, if they're going to win, like I said, they're going to have to get a lot of production from their complementary players, and they're going to have to find a way to get Kevin Durant and also Devin Booker going and try to slow down Jokic as much as possible. Jeff says, great dunk. I agree for sure. It's been some great basketball early. Really appreciate you for being here. V Ohio State says 76ers blew it in the 4th, but got to give Tatum credit. He scored 16 points in it, 4 huge threes in the 4th after a terrible first 3 quarters. Celtics are so good in elimination games. I would agree with you, V Ohio State. The Celtics have definitely been great in elimination games, and they have proven time and time again you just cannot count them out. Kind of like the Warriors. A lot of people say you can't count the Warriors out. Well, it's hard to count the Celtics out either, because they've done so well in elimination games, to your point. And yes, Tatum, he was struggling all game, but you had to have it. Tatum's a superstar for a reason. He's first team All-NBA. He's got to step up when it counts, and he did. Credit to him. Played at a high level, and Boston found a way to win a slugfest game. Big win for them. Completely agree. But on the other end, Bruce Brown, he tried to go up strong and lay it in, and it was blocked down low by Phoenix. Great defense by Biyombo. He was able to block that shot. Get that shot out of here, Biyombo says. Almost like Mutombo. What a block. That was a fantastic block. Bruce Brown has definitely been feeling confident. However, you can tell that drive was a very confident drive. But will that shake his confidence? Who knows? Christian Brown and Jeff Green are also into the game for Denver. Christian Brown, the rookie out of Kansas, had some nice moments. And also Jeff Green, the veteran. Jeff Green has had a long NBA career, and he's done a really good job in his NBA career of being productive for so many teams. And he's still playing at a high level, but Denver gets so much depth. But DeAndre Ayton, all he can look at is on the side is that he wish he could be in the game to be able to try to slow down Jokic at all. But Denver, they're at the foul line right now. Maybe there was a technical foul. I'm not 100% sure. Like maybe there was a technical foul on Phoenix. But Caldwell Pope, he knocks down the free throw. So we'll have to see what ended up happening right there. It looked like maybe it might have been on Biyombo and Jokic. Not sure. But they called that foul there on that inbounds. And Denver got an extra free throw. You never want to give free points, especially on plays like that. You just do not want to give up free points. That could come back to haunt Phoenix. Denver on the other end, Jeff Green tried to shoot the 3, but he got stopped. passed it to Jokic, and then Caldwell Pope, he knocks down the three, and Denver's up 31-26 over Phoenix. 2:30 to go in the first quarter, and Denver, their depth is showing out right now. Caldwell Pope with 12 points, Jokic with 8. Caldwell Pope is having a fantastic game so far. He's kind of like the Cameron Payne of Denver right now. He is doing a great job as a guy that does not normally score at this high of a level. Who knows if he can keep it up? But if his teammates start going as well, he won't have to. But he is having a great start to this game. 2:26 to go in the first quarter, and you have Torrey Craig to inbound for the Phoenix Suns to Devin Booker. Booker's being guarded by Christian Braun, who is a pretty solid defender as a rookie. Terrible pass by Terrence Ross, who's into the game for Phoenix as well. Stolen by Bruce Brown to Caldwell Pope, and Kentavious Caldwell Pope with another three. 34-26, and he's got 15 points. Who would have thought he would have had 15 points in the first quarter for Denver? Unbelievable. 8-point deficit for Phoenix. Not danger time yet for Phoenix, but they need a bucket. Terrence Ross for a wide open three. His three is in and out. It looked like it was all the way in, but the net denied him and the ball rimmed out. And now you've got Bruce Brown on the other end for the Denver Nuggets. Over to Jokic. Top of the key. Driving by Biyombo with the floater. What a play by Jokic. And now Denver's up by 10. 1:30 to go in the first quarter. Phoenix is starting to collapse a little bit. 9-0 run for Denver in the last minute and 30. Booker down the lane. His shot's off the mark. And is there a foul down low? I'm not 100% sure, but 1:26 to go in the first quarter. And Denver has opened up a 10-point lead. Jokic off the dribble is just ridiculous. Biyombo's trying to guard him, and Jokic is just going next to him, just driving down the lane, and he just lays it in over him. And it looks so effortless, too, even though it's not. That's just a great play, and there's not much Biyombo can do. I don't even know if there's much Ayton could do on that play. He had the leverage, and he had the angle, and he took it down the lane, and he got it in. I think they called a foul on Phoenix, so Jeff Green, he's at the line. So Phoenix is starting to rack up some fouls early, not a good sign either. They're the home team, and Denver's going to the line more. Jeff Green, his first free throw is good. So it's 37-26, and Denver has opened up an 11-point lead. This was a close game just a couple minutes ago. It was a 2-point game, and now Denver's up by 11 just like that. That's how quickly NBA teams can score, especially really good NBA teams. We'll have to see if Phoenix can respond. 1:26 to go in the first quarter. Jeff Green with another free throw, and it's up, and it's good as well. So it's 38-26, 12-point lead for Denver. And again, Phoenix in desperate need of a bucket. 11-0 run for the Nuggets in the last minute and 50 seconds. Cameron Payne at the top of the key. Looks like there might have been a foul down low. This time, I think it is on Denver. So Phoenix finally gets a foul to go their way on an off-the-ball play. It's always funny when you get a foul on an off-the-ball play because it's not necessary. It's not required or warranted at all. But sometimes that's just the way that it is. Players are just trying to find a way to be able to get stops, be able to prevent a player from coming off a screen. And sometimes you're just a little too overzealous. Devin Booker passes over to Ross in the mid-range, and Terrence Ross, he is cold as ice. He could not get that shot to fall. Christian Braun to Jokic, over in the corner to Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown drives into the lane, shoots over Booker. His shot's off the mark, but Jokic is there with the rebound, and Jokic over Biyombo. And Nikola Jokic is a problem right now for Phoenix. He is dominating down low, and now Denver's up by 14 points. This is not looking good at all for the elimination team. Phoenix is falling behind in a hurry, and they don't look like there's anything they can do about it. Jokic is on a mission. 40-26, 55 seconds left. Jokic already with 12 points, 4 boards, and 5 assists on 6 of 8 shooting in the first quarter. 13-0 run for Denver. Cameron Payne off the drill for a 2. His shot's off the mark. Caldwell Pope, who's had a great first quarter with 15 points so far, he's got the rebound. 30 seconds left. He's in the middle of the lane, kicks to Jokic. Jokic over Ross, and Jokic for 2 more. 14 points for Jokic, 42-26. 16-point lead for Denver. 14 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists for Jokic. Unbelievable run for Denver. Will this run already put Phoenix away? I don't know. There's still plenty of time. But this feels like a series-altering run right here for Denver. They are on a roll. And down the floor, Caldwell Pope, I think he potentially got fouled on that play as he was going down the floor. So a foul on Phoenix, not 100% sure if they're going to call or if it's in the bonus. So it's going to be free throws or maybe one of those take fouls when a guy's going down the floor. and they're going to call a technical because you're impeding his path. Who knows? Don't think so. But I do think that Phoenix already is in the bonus. So Caldwell Pope, he will have 2 free throws regardless to try to extend Denver's already growing lead. And his first free throw is good. So now it's a 17-point lead. 43-26. And Jokic is now on the bench with a much-deserved rest along with Jamal Murray as well. Only 15 seconds left in the first quarter. But this just already feels like a knockout blow from Denver. Still plenty of time. You don't want to say it's done. You never want to give up if you are the Phoenix Suns. Still plenty of time. But, man, this is a fantastic run by the Denver Nuggets. And they're up by 18 points, 44-26. This is a disastrous into the first quarter for Phoenix. They have not scored in 3 minutes, and Denver scored 17 points in the final 3 minutes. It was 27-26 with 3 to go in the first. And Booker, he misses a mid-range shot to end a disastrous first quarter for Phoenix toward the end of it anyway. 44-26. Denver's up by 18. We're going to have to see if Phoenix has anything left in the tank, but it is not looking good at all. Jeff says, come on, Suns, it's now or never. You wrote that a while ago, so definitely it is now or never, but Phoenix has fallen apart since then. I mean, it's an epic collapse. It was 27-26 with 3 to go in the first. Now it's 44-26. You would think that this would maybe happen in the second half, like the fourth quarter, that Phoenix is starting to run out of gas and then Denver just blows it open. No, that's not what's happening right now. Denver is just stomping Phoenix out in the first quarter. Still plenty of time. If you're Denver, you do not want to lax up. You do not want to allow Phoenix to creep back in the game because that is still a possibility for sure. But the way the game is going, it's not looking good at all for Phoenix because of the fact that, yes, they were getting some production from the role players early, which was good because of the fact that was allowing, them to offset that Kevin Durant was a little cold to start the game, and they were kind of hanging with Denver. It's why it was 27-26. But now Kevin Durant's still cold. Devin Booker, he's hit some shots, but now the role players have stopped as well, and Jokic is just dominating. Not saying that this wouldn't be happening if Ayton was in, but at least DeAndre Ayton can offer you some offensive rebounding ability, some, mid-range game. He's able to score on the offensive end. Jock Landale and Bismack Biyombo, they try their best, and they definitely are capable players in the NBA. But Jokic is just destroying them on the glass on both sides of the floor, and Jokic is just now scoring the ball at will. He's got 14 points, and it looks like it could continue if Phoenix can't find a way to slow it down. And if you try to double, then that's going to leave Murray or Brown or some of their other players just wide open for 3. I don't know what the strategy is for Phoenix. You just got to hope maybe you can get Jokic in foul trouble or maybe he starts to miss because as is right now, he's just dominating down low. There's still plenty of time. Still plenty of time in this game. 3 quarters to go. But right now, it is not looking good at all for the Phoenix Suns. The Ohio State, the Suns role players off to a good start so far. For sure, they were. They definitely were. But it has definitely stopped. It has slowed down, and it is not looking good for Phoenix. Still plenty of time. But the Celtics, they were down as well to Philadelphia, and Boston was able to turn it around in the game earlier tonight. So, and Boston was able to extend it on to a game 7. So maybe we can see the same thing with Phoenix, but Boston was never down by this much either. They actually led for most of the game. They led for the whole first half, and then Philadelphia came back, took the lead for brief, and then Boston took it back in the fourth. So that was a little bit different. Plus, Boston doesn't have a depth problem. Boston still has a lot of depth. They've just found ways to lose to Philadelphia, and they were on the brink tonight, and they had to win, and they got it done. But with Phoenix, they don't have depth. I mean, they traded everything for Kevin Durant. I don't blame them for trading for Kevin Durant. He's a great player. Still is at his age. But they traded so much away. Mikal Bridges would be a player that they could really use right now. Even Cam Johnson, some of those guys, they just don't have them anymore. I get you've got to trade away a lot to get a player like Kevin Durant. Totally get it. That's why it's hard to trade for a superstar because sometimes it can just leave you without any players anymore. Look at Dallas without Kyrie Irving. With getting Kyrie Irving, they were actually better. They were a better team without him. Dallas without Kyrie Irving was better with Dallas with Kyrie Irving because with Kyrie Irving, they didn't have any players anymore like Spencer Dinwiddie, some of those other guys that they had. And that's just really hurting Dallas, and that's why they missed the playoffs. I just feel like you got to find a way, if you're going to get a superstar, to keep enough of your bench, enough of your depth to make it worth the trade. But it's just tough. But Phoenix, that's the hole they're in right now. They're down by 18, and they're going to have to find a way to do something about it, or they will be eliminated. Kevin Durant in the mid-range. The guy they traded for could not hit that mid-range shot. Denver up by 18 points. 11:40 to go in the second quarter, and Denver can continue to push out the lead and try to put this game away already. Jamal Murray kicks back to Jeff Green. Top of the key, back to Jamal Murray with Landry Shamet on him. Landry Shamet trying to guard Murray. Murray's a bit quicker into the lane, and Murray is fouled on that drive. And that's going to be another problem because Phoenix is getting a lot of fouls called on them in this game. Denver is getting to the line. And if Denver keeps getting to the line, then Denver's going to make their free throws and keep pushing out this lead. Phoenix, they were doing a good job in the past game, in Game 5, of being able to hang with Denver in that first half because Phoenix was getting to the line. Well, they got away from that in the second half, and then they just lost the game by 20. Well, right now, they're down by 18, and it could be 20 after Murray's 2 free throws, and he hits the first. So it's a 19-point deficit, but Phoenix is just not getting anything going. And when you're not getting anything going, you're on your own floor, the home crowd's quiet. Because why is the home crowd going to be loud when they're upset that you're down by so much? So it's crazy. It's going to be really interesting right here. You've got Jamal Murray hitting both free throws, 46-26, a 20-point lead for the Denver Nuggets and a 19-0 run for them in the last 4 minutes of the game. I mean, that's not even that bad of a drought. Phoenix hasn't scored 4 minutes, which isn't good, but you've given up 19 points in that span. That's why it's a problem. It was like a 10-0 run, it'd be a little bit different. Finally, Kevin Durant scores to end the 19-0 run in the scoring drought, but they're still down by 18 points. 11 to go in the second quarter, 46-28. And you've got Bruce Brown carving up the defense on the other end, 48-28. This series kind of feels like the Dallas Mavericks series last year where Phoenix lost that series. It just doesn't feel like Phoenix has enough left in the tank. Kevin Durant over to Cameron Payne, back to Durant. 10:40 to go in the second quarter. He's being guarded by Aaron Gordon. Durant in the mid-range, and his shot is in and out again. And then Jeff Green loses the basketball out of bounds. He's laughing. How in the world did he let that ball fall off of his leg? Him and Jamal Murray were trying to get the exchange there, and it did not work. Terrible turnover from Denver, and maybe that could be a play that could swing the momentum back Phoenix's way a little bit. Who knows? That was a terrible play by Jeff Green and Jamal Murray on that exchange. 48-28, 10:36 to go in the second quarter. Inbounds play, and Jock Landale, he is fouled. 10:35 to go in the second quarter. Only one more second taken off. And Jock Landale, he was fouled to prevent him from being able to get that easy layup. He'll have to earn them at the stripe Denver wants him to do. Probably a smart play. You never want to give up easy points. Sometimes the foul method works for sure. But Jock Landale, he hits the first, so he's looking pretty confident at the line. But a 19-point hole for Phoenix is not confident in any way, shape, or form. We're going to have to see if Phoenix can come back. They're showing Jock Landale in the first round versus the Clippers. He only played 8 minutes and 4 points. And in this series, he played 75 minutes and had 26 points. They played Bismack Biyombo a lot more in that first series, but they're playing Jock Landale a lot more in this series. And he hit the second, so it's 48-30. Maybe that mistake by Jeff Green, Jamal Murray can make Phoenix be able to make a run a little bit. Who knows? 10:20 to go in the second. Bruce Brown to Jeff Green. Jeff Green lays it up and in. What a play, but I don't know if they're going to give it to him or is that a foul? Is it an and-one? I'm not 100% sure. Still 10:23 to go in the second quarter. But they might have called a foul on Landry Shamet before the shot counts. I'm not sure. I don't know. It looks like maybe Landry Shamet hooked him. I think that's what they're going to call there. So no points there for Jeff Green. Now Jamal Murray to Christian Brown. Christian Brown driving on Shamet, and Christian Brown taking contact, and he lays it in. 50-30, back to a 20-point lead. Now Kevin Durant being guarded by Jamal Murray. KD's been cold. He almost turns it over. Kicks to Shamet to Cameron Payne. Cameron Payne to Kevin Durant. There's a turnover. Murray down the floor to Jeff Green, and Jeff Green loses the ball going up for a massive slam dunk. Now Cameron Payne on the other end, 4-3, and he knocks it down. Big swing of momentum there. I could have put Denver up by 22 with Jeff Green's dunk, but Cameron Payne on the other end scores, and now it's down to 17. 9:40 to go in the second quarter, and Cameron Payne with 13 points. He's still having a pretty solid game so far, but he's going to need some help. Jamal Murray, top of the key, being guarded by Shamet. Mid-range, Murray kicks back out to Bruce Brown. 9:25 to go in the second quarter. 2 on the shot clock. Bruce Brown all the way down the floor, and his layup's off the mark. And Aaron Gordon, he tips the ball out of bounds. So it will be Phoenix ball. Down by 17. Maybe this is Phoenix's chance to be able to try to cut down this lead a little bit. Who knows? But they're in a big hole. They're down by 17 points right now. But Cameron Payne, he's giving Phoenix fans some hope and belief by his hot shooting to start. But Kevin Durant, he is cold as ice. And Phoenix has hit 5 threes. Denver's only hit 3, so they've done a little bit better. But Landry Shamet on the other end, he went up for a layup, and he was not able to knock it down. And Jock Landale, he could not save the basketball from going out of bounds. So momentum has been stopped, and Denver has the basketball back. 50-33. Denver's up by 17 points. 9 to go in the second quarter. It's been a great first quarter until the 3-minute mark, and then ever since then, it has been all Denver, and they've been playing great, but Phoenix has been struggling. Jamal Murray, top of the key, driving by Devin Booker with a turnaround jumper, and he knocks down the shot. What a play by Jamal Murray, 52-33, and Denver's on pace for maybe 70, 75 points in this first half. I don't know if they can get all the way there. Maybe they'll go cold, but they're on fire right now. Devin Booker to Kevin Durant. Top of the key. Kevin Durant trying to drive by Gordon with the mid-range shot. He is still cold. Christian Brown with the rebound up the floor for Denver. To Jamal Murray. Top of the key being guarded by Devin Booker. He thought about the three. Wise not to take it because it's a deep shot. He fakes again. Now Murray off the dribble with a step back two, and he scores again. 54-33, and that is a 21-point lead for Denver. 8:12 to go in the second quarter, and Monty Williams, he uses another timeout. And I get it. He needs it, but this is bad for Phoenix. Denver is up by 21 points. Probably could have called a timeout a few minutes ago. I get it. You want to save your timeouts and hope your team can make a run, but Phoenix is all out of sorts right now, and Denver, they're on a roll. It's going to be very interesting for sure. Jeff says, what a three. Come on, Suns. Again, you wrote that a while back, but it has definitely gone downhill for Phoenix since then. It has definitely been a very big degrade. It has been a drastic fall for Phoenix, and Denver with a big lead. And you know that's going to help their confidence because they're on the road and they're keeping the Phoenix Suns crowd at bay. And if Denver can just keep this lead around 15 to 20 points for the rest of the game, Phoenix is not going to have a shot to come back, and they're eventually going to bow out and give up. And you hope that's not the case. You hope Phoenix still has a lot left in the tank. But unfortunately for Suns fans, KD is just not hitting shots right now. He is cold. He is struggling from the floor. His signature mid-range shot is not going in. And maybe eventually it will. Who knows? But he just cannot get a shot to fall at this point in time. It's just a struggle all around for him. And he's a guy that is capable of scoring 25, 30, 35 points. That's why Phoenix got him. But he's going to have to do that. This is not the game that you can have a bad game in. This is an elimination game. It's almost like Boston. You could not play bad. And Tatum was having an awful game. But then he came around in that fourth quarter, and he was able to find a way to single-handedly help Boston win that game in the fourth quarter. He did a fantastic job. But the time is now for Phoenix, and Kevin Durant's going to have to get going, but hopefully for Phoenix fans, it's not already too late, because it could be. The Ohio State says Caldwell Pope is much more athletic than I thought. Yeah, I would agree with you. Caldwell Pope is a guy that you watch, and he's a pretty good player. You just don't really think much of it. But like you said, last few games, I mean, some of these plays we're seeing him make, yeah, there's some sneaky athleticism there. I mean, he's actually a really good player. I mean, I think it's helping him out being next to Murray, being next to Jokic, and building his confidence, because sometimes basketball is all about confidence. If you don't have confidence, it doesn't matter how good of a player you are, you're not going to play good. You have to have confidence and believe in yourself. You can go out there and play at a high level, and I think that is where Caldwell Pope is right now. He is just very confident, and he's believing in himself and in his team around him, and that's what's helping him play at a much higher level. But like you said, he is sneaky athletic. He's a lot better than a lot of people probably thought for sure. Go Tigers. Thanks for being here, Edward. Really appreciate it. Let's go Game 7 in Boston. Yes, for sure. It was a great performance by Tatum. Fantastic, and that's what Phoenix is going to have to need if they're going to be able to get back in this game, is some big shots by KD and Booker. But the problem is Boston was never down by that much. They got down by a few points, but they were always within striking distance. The problem with Phoenix, they've already put themselves in a big hole. You can't get down by this much. It's almost like Memphis when they got down big against the Lakers. Not in the last game where they lost by 40, but that other game where they got down to like 25, and then you had John Morant go for like 40-something points, and they almost won the game. But if Memphis hadn't never got down by that much, they probably win. because John Morant was playing on fire in the fourth. But you just can't get down by 20-plus points. It's different if you get down, by a margin of something like 10 to maybe 12. That's okay, but you can't get down by 20 points. Even 15 or more is an issue, but you definitely can't get down by more than 20 points because that just hurts your momentum and gives you no confidence at all. And I'm sure Denver's still going to, play at a high level, but if the only way you kind of feel like Phoenix can come back is if Denver laxes up. Or if Phoenix just starts hitting big shots like that, like Cameron Payne. He hit another one. Cameron Payne's got 16. He's the only bright spot for Phoenix right now. 4-4 from 3. He's got 16 points, 54-36. And if it wasn't for Cameron Payne, it could be a whole lot worse for Phoenix. Now Aaron Gordon down low. He's trying to go up with what a block by Jock Landale down the floor for Phoenix. Devin Booker all the way to the rim, and he misses the shot. KD goes up with it, and maybe there's a foul from behind. I think there is a foul. So Phoenix will have a couple free throws, which is a good sign for them. They're going to need all the points they can get right now because they're down big. But Cam Payne, he is like the only bright spot. He's got 16 points. I don't think anybody would have thought if you said right now at 7:35 to go in the second quarter, and there was one player for Phoenix that had 16 points, you probably thought it'd be KD or Booker, not Cameron Payne. But unfortunately for Payne, the rest of his teammates are not on fire right now, and their defense is not that good. And Chris Paul being out for the fourth straight game, that just hurts so much. And now DeAndre Ayton being out as well, that's just the icing on the cake of bad news, unfortunately, for Phoenix. But Devin Booker, he does hit both free throws, so that cuts the deficit down to 16. That's not the worst deficit in the world, but if they can go on a 10-0 run, they can maybe make this thing interesting before the half. But Denver, their offense will lead you to believe otherwise. That's not going to happen. Jokic, top of the key, being guarded by Landale. Landale with a hand on his back trying to prevent him from getting in the paint. Now Jeff Green back to Jokic at the top of the key. Jokic off the dribble, trying to drive on Durant to Bruce Brown for three, and his shot's off the mark. Jokic down low. He lays it in, but there's a foul on the floor. 7:10 to go in the second quarter. I don't think they're going to call that a foul on the shot. I think it's a foul on the floor. But Jokic right there, swallowing up the boards again. He is not allowing guys to get rebound. Look at Kevin Durant. He had no shot at that rebound. Jokic just went up and he got it. Looked like there maybe was a hook and hold down low, but they did not call that. Sometimes it's hard for the refs to see everything, but Jokic just down low, getting rebounds at will. Now you've got Caldwell Pope inbounding the basketball to Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown top the key to Jokic. Now Jokic passes it back to Bruce Brown. Devin Booker's on him now. Bruce Brown trying to drive to Jeff Green in the corner. He fakes the three. He's driving into the lane, and his shot's off the mark, and there's a bailout foul. Phoenix did great on that whole entire possession on defense, but when Jeff Green goes down the lane with 0.5 on the shot clock to lay it in, and they call a foul, that is awful for Phoenix. Jeff Green, was that a foul? I don't know. I do not know if that was a foul on Kevin Durant. It did not look like the worst foul in the world, but it is what it is. It was called. 6:56 to go in the second quarter. Phoenix is down by 16. Monty Williams looks a bit disgruntled right now, trying to figure out what's going on to try to get his team back in the game. Denver with 32 points in the paint. Phoenix with 14. That's a deficit in paint points. It's going to get you a loss. Denver with all those paint points, those are easy buckets. Paint points are not always easy buckets, but paint points are easier than threes. They're easier to make. And Denver is getting to the rim at will. And Phoenix is not being able to stop him. When they do stop him, it's usually resulted in a foul, which means that Denver's going to the line and hitting free throws, which Jeff Green, he hit the first free throw, and it looks like he hit the second as well. So it's 56-38, 18-point lead yet again. You've got Terrence Ross, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Jock Landale, and Cameron Payne on the floor for Phoenix. Nikola Jokic, Michael Porter Jr., Bruce Brown, Jeff Green, and Caldwell Pope on the floor for Denver. So some good lineups, but Phoenix just not enough offense right now. They're just really struggling, especially Kevin Durant. I mean, his signature mid-range shot will not drop. That's an issue. He's definitely going to have to find a way to be able to get going because of the fact that it's not going to be enough if Cameron Payne and Booker are the only ones hitting shots. Kevin Durant, he's a great player, but he's just not on fire. Cameron Payne, however, though, is making up for it. Another three. He's got 19 points. 56-41, 15-point deficit. But if Cameron Payne wasn't having the game he was, Phoenix could be down by 25 This is a massive first half for Cameron Payne, a great performance. Just unfortunately for him, no one else is doing anything as of this time. Caldwell Pope in the mid-range, and his shot, he gets a friendly roll, shooter's touch, 58-41, 17-point lead for Denver, 6:10 to go in the second quarter. Now Booker down the lane. Booker goes up strong. He lays it in, looking for a foul. He's not going to get it, but what a play by Booker. That's an athletic play. And Caldwell Pope is 19 points. So Caldwell Pope and Cameron Payne are the two guys you don't expect to have as many points as they do, but both with 19 points. Now Caldwell Pope again, top of the key, thought about the three, swings it to Jokic, back to Caldwell Pope. Caldwell Pope for two on a desperation fadeaway. His shot's off the mark. Now Cameron Payne, like what looks like one of his first mistakes of the game, he just threw it away. He tried to get the ball before to Devin Booker, and that ball was too much out in front, and he throws it away right there. Definitely like the selfless play right there, trying to get the ball to his teammate and Booker down the floor, but he lost the ball. He's saying it was deflected. He's looking for a deflection, but he's not going to get it. Phoenix has 6 turnovers, and another reason why Denver's winning, they haven't turned the ball over yet. That's incredible that you're almost a whole first half in and you have not turned it over. Jamal Murray, top of the key, into the lane. What a reverse to Jokic, 60-43. That was a fantastic reverse pass by Jamal Murray to Jokic. That might be SportsCenter top 10, maybe, if they feel it's warranted. What a play right there. Now you've got Phoenix down by 17 again. Booker, right wing, driving on Murray for 2. What a play off glass. 60-45. That is a really talented play by Devin Booker right there. 5 to go in the second quarter. Booker is starting to hit some shots. He's got 11 right now, but KD's still cold. Jamal Murray, top of the key, being guarded by Cameron Payne. Jamal Murray down low to Jokic, being guarded by Landell. Jokic trying to turn. Gets the ball poked by Landell. Jokic recovers. Jokic off the dribble into the lane. His shot's up and in. Jokic is unstoppable right now. Phoenix cannot slow him down. Booker into the lane. Booker's off the mark. Ball almost is out of bounds, but Booker saves it to Ross. And is there a foul on the out-of-bounds play right there? Not 100% sure. Booker was going out of bounds. Maybe they said he was pushed. 62-45, 4:37 to go in the second quarter. But Jamal Murray with the sweet pass behind his back to Jokic, and Jokic just cannot be slowed down by Jock Landell. Despite the best efforts from Landell, Jokic is just scoring over him early and often in possession on the shot clock. It's just not going to happen for Landell. He's not going to stop Jokic unless he just starts missing, because he is getting to the rim at will. Now Caldwell Pope with the steal. Caldwell Pope goes up strong. There's a foul on Devin Booker. What a steal by Caldwell Pope, but he looks banged up on the floor. Hopefully he's okay. He's had a fantastic first half for Denver with 19 points, but he hit the deck hard right there, and he is still on the floor in a little bit of pain. Hopefully he is okay. But he is getting up, being helped up by Bruce Brown, Jamal Murray. But Caldwell Pope, he fell hard to the floor right there. But that was a great steal by him, and he went up strong. Booker, yeah, he got him with a lot of body. Booker thought he was clean there, but he definitely got him with the body. But Caldwell Pope fell hard to the floor. That's unfortunately what happens when you go airborne. And thankfully for him, he fell and did not hurt his wrist. That's what happens to John Moran a lot when he goes airborne. Evel Knievel at his finest going airborne. But John Morant, you just have to be careful. Caldwell Pope with 19 points, and now he's got 20. 63-45. So he was able to hit that free throw despite falling hard to the deck. And with another free throw, could put Denver back up by 19. You just almost feel like if you're Phoenix, if you're down by 20 at the half, I just don't know if there's going to be enough left in the tank. Who knows? We'll have to see for sure. It's going to be very interesting, but it's just not looking good at all. Maybe their confidence will be completely shot and Denver can cruise to victory, but we'll have to see. 19-point lead after Caldwell Pope drains that second free throw. He's got 21. He stays in the game despite his fall. Devin Booker trying to drive on Caldwell Pope. Over to Cameron Payne. Now over to Terrence Ross in the corner. And Ross, he hits the back of the backboard. Not even close on that shot. Now Jokic down the floor to a wide open Jamal Murray, and he drains it. 67-45, and Phoenix is falling apart even further. They're down by 22 points yet again. Monty Williams is in disbelief. What can he do? Cameron Payne driving down the floor. Now Kevin Durant on the other and trying to drive on Caldwell Pope, trying to get that mid-range shot. He loses the ball. Now Jamal Murray down the floor to Porter Jr. He's stripped by Cameron Payne, and the ball is out of bounds off of the Phoenix Suns. So it will be Denver basketball. But Denver is up by 22 points right now on the Phoenix Suns. It just looks like Phoenix just doesn't have anything in them. It kind of reminds you of the Mavericks series from last year. They just can't get anything going. And if this continues, there's no way that Phoenix is going to win this game. They've just completely fallen apart, and it seems to be getting worse from here, not any better. Now you've got Jokic being guarded by Bismack Biyombo. Back to Jokic from Murray. Jokic trying to go up strong. He's guarded by Shamet. He turns shoulder and he scores again. 69-45. Jokic is at 20 points now. Caldwell Pope's at over 20 points. And this is a dominant first half. I thought that Denver could get to 70-75, but this is insane. They are actually doing it. 3:10 to go in the second quarter, and they're already at 69. And KD misses again. Kevin Durant's field goal percentage is really low right now. He is off. Jamal Murray on the other end, down the floor, being guarded by Booker. Jamal Murray trying to drive, and there is a foul on Booker. They're going to get him for the grab right there, and there is another foul on the Phoenix Suns. And more free throws because Phoenix is in the bonus. But look at Jokic with that effortless touch laying it in. No glass even. Over Landry Shamet. It just looks so easy for him, but it's not. That's just a fantastic play. Murray's first free throw is good. They've hit the 70 threshold in the first half. They're up by 25 points. Unbelievable. 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists for Nikola Jokic. He's 10 of 12 from the field. So efficient. And Jamal Murray, his second free throw is good as well. So much easier to hit free throws when you have the lead. 71-45, a 26-point lead for the Denver Nuggets. It's a long time ago from that 1-point lead when it was 27-26 Denver. Now Biyombo down low. He goes up strong, and he draws the foul. 2:52 to go in the second quarter. The ball, it was stuck at the top of the rim, but it does fall back down. But they're showing the montage of Nikola Jokic highlights and putbacks. It's incredible what he is doing. He is working the Suns down low on the block, on the offensive and defensive glass. He is playing so well in this game. And you can tell he wants to end this series right now. And it definitely looks like that's going to happen. I mean, there's still time. There's still so much time in this game. You have a whole second half. But just the way this game is going, you just do not feel like there's any chance for Phoenix. There's still time, but they're not going out there and trying to fight back. They're not slowing down Denver at all. And that's a problem. When you're playing the way that you are and you're struggling on the offensive end, you're not able to make shots, you got to get stops. And that's kind of what Boston did. They went on a horrible stretch there in that Philly game. In that at the end of the third quarter and the start of the fourth quarter, but Boston just kept getting stops. They kept getting stops, and that was how they were able to come back once Tatum hit those threes. Because Philadelphia was not scoring points. That's why it's a 95-86 game. You think about it, it was a 95-86 game. Philadelphia scored 86 points in the entire basketball game. Denver's got 71 already, and we're still in the first half. Philadelphia had 86 points in the entire game. So, yeah, Phoenix's defense is not doing good. Yes, Denver is also having an elite first half on the offensive end, and everything seems to be dropping and going in. But still, you got to defend. You got to find a way to slow down the Denver Nuggets if you're Phoenix. And it just does not feel like Phoenix is doing a good enough job slowing down the Denver Nuggets. It's kind of one of those things where sometimes – great offense beats great defense. So you could be defending the ball at a high level and a guy scores anyway. But it does feel like Denver has gotten way too many easy buckets. That's just kind of what it feels like. It just feels like Denver's going out there and saying, we want this game. We're going to win this game. We don't care that it's at Phoenix. We don't care at all. And yes, Phoenix is short DeAndre Ayton. I get that's a problem for sure. But Jokic is just in beast mode right now. He's dominating. And you just kind of feel like he would be even if Ayton was in. I don't know if that's the case or not. We have no idea. Because Jokic he already had 53 points when Ayton was in earlier in the series, and Denver lost. So, I mean, just incredible performances by some guys, and you still don't win. But Jokic is just having his way, and Caldwell Pope's making shots, and Jamal Murray's hitting a few. It's just not looking good for Phoenix. And Phoenix is just struggling all around. They can't get anything to fall. And Kevin Durant, he is ice cold. Kevin Durant had some great games in this series. He's had some great games this year and in this playoffs as well, but it's just not making shots. And unfortunately, that might be the end. That might be the end of Phoenix because Kevin Durant, he has to score. If you don't have Chris Paul and you don't have DeAndre Ayton, that's two of your guys that probably combined would put up 30 in this game if they were both having good games. Kevin Durant has to have at least 30 to 35 to win. And that's just not happening. Look at Caldwell Pope with 21 points, 7 and 9 from the field. Jokic with 20 points, 10 and 12 from the field, and Murray with 14 points, 4 6 from the field. So they're not just scoring the ball at a high level for Denver. They're efficient. All three of those players have only missed 2 shots apiece. So they're on fire. I mean, sometimes when it's your night, it's your night. And that's what Denver's doing. Denver's just going out there, and all their guys are going out there and just playing at a high level. And Phoenix just can't get anything going outside of Cameron Payne and Devin Booker. So we'll see what happens. Bismack Biyombo, he's at the line. But right now for Phoenix, it almost can't get any uglier right now. They're really struggling. Biyombo, his first free throw is up, and it's off. It can't get it to fall. Biyombo has to hit a free throw here because Phoenix needs all the points they can get. It kind of seemed like the game turned after that technical foul. It was 27-26, and then Denver had a technical, or Phoenix got a technical, and it allowed Denver to go to the line off a technical foul. And that put Denver at 28-26. And since that technical, Denver's been on fire. And Denver also has 0 turnovers tonight. They're not turning the ball over either. So everything they're doing right now. And as I say that, they almost turn it over. Did they turn over? And yes, they did. Aaron Gordon, he messed up and finally turned the basketball over for Denver. Right as I'm praising for no turnovers, they finally turned the basketball over. But still, that's a fantastic first half if you only have 1 turnover. But still, Denver in cruise control. Can't lax up. You don't want to allow Phoenix to come back. But if you're Phoenix, you got to make this respectable, even if you don't win. You can't get beat by 20 plus points. Devin Booker, top of the key. Driving by Jamal Murray. 2 Landry Shamet in the corner. His 3's off the mark. They just can't get anything to fall. And down low, is there a foul on Torrey Craig? I think there is because Denver is walking back the other way. I think Phoenix fouled him again. So Denver can add to their lead at the line because Phoenix is in the bonus. If you're down big, you just cannot keep fouling. You cannot allow Denver to get more points at the stripe because they're already up big. I mean, they'll be up by 28 points if they hit both of these. And it's Jamal Murray, so you feel like he's going to hit him. Very easy to hit free throws when you're winning by a lot. Jamal Murray's first free throw, it's splash, 72-45, a 27-point lead for Denver. Denver's looking like the best team in the NBA right now. I don't know if they are. It's debatable. Boston's still lurking. Philly. Los Angeles been playing good stuff. The Warriors, who knows who the best team actually is. But Denver, right now tonight, they're looking like the best team in the NBA, even if it is just for tonight. And Jamal Murray, he hits the second free throw as well. So it's 73-45. Murray with 16 points. 13 of them are in this quarter. Devin Booker swings it over to KD. KD's driving in on Gordon. His shot is good, and it finally Phoenix scores again. That has to be their first points in a few minutes. Yet again, they've had a couple of droughts where they've struggled, and that is Kevin Durant's only his second field goal made. He's got 6 points. He's 2 of 11 from the field. Jamal Murray over to Aaron Gordon, to Michael Porter Jr. What a play by Michael Porter Jr. He went reverse airborne and was somehow able to lay that in over behind his head. I don't know how he hit that shot. That was a fantastic shot. Landry Shamet in the lane. He misses, and you've got Bruce Brown with the board going down the floor all the way to the rim, and Bruce Brown lays it in. It looked like an alley-oop play to Gordon, but he was able to get that shot to fall. What a play. And Denver's looking like Harlem Globetrotters. 77-47. Booker misses. Jokic with the board. Denver up by 30. 1:10 to go in the second quarter. A 17-2 run for Denver in the last 4 minutes. Jamal Murray down the floor. Jamal Murray trying to drive on Landry Shamet. He's backing him down with a turnaround. He scores again. 79-47. They've almost got 80 points in the first half. 79-47. This is almost like Memphis and the Lakers, but worse, it feels like. Because of the fact this is the second round, not the first. And Phoenix in the elimination game at home. Torrey Craig scores on the other end. But 79-49. Phoenix's fans just have to be utterly just upset and just cannot believe, distraught, whatever you want to say, in disbelief. The Phoenix fans are silent. They have to be in complete disbelief. Some people are probably going to leave. Who knows? Hopefully most of their fans stay, but this is bad. Jamal Murray misses a step back two. Michael Porter with the rebound, fight for it down low, kicks it back out to Bruce Brown for three. His shot's off the mark, and you've got Landry Shamet with the rebound right there. Kevin Durant down the floor, taking contact, and his shot's off the mark. They call a foul on Jamal Murray, and Kevin Durant, I think, will have a couple of free throws right here. What a first half for Denver. When it is your night, it's your night. And I actually think it was an alley-oop. So Bruce Brown was alley-ooping it to Aaron Gordon, but KD tipped it. That is insane. Sometimes you get lucky. I can't believe that. I just can't believe it. KD tipped the ball just a hair, and it went in. Kevin Durant, he's able to hit both free throws. 79-51. Phoenix is down by 28 points. I don't know if they can come back from this. Still a lot of time, whole second half left, but I don't know. 15 seconds left. Jamal Murray, they call an illegal screen on Jokic. He's upset. He is upset. Maybe it was on Bruce Brown, but it might have been on Jokic for setting that screen. It looked like they're going to get him for a foul right there. So something going Phoenix's way. 79-51, just over 10 seconds to go in the first half. A disastrous second quarter and into the first quarter for Phoenix. You cannot get much worse than this. They're just going to have to go to the end of the locker room at half and hopefully just come back out and play hard. It's about all you can do. But this was a disaster. Denver on a roll. 10 seconds. Kevin Durant driving kicks to Cameron Payne, but Jamal Murray with the steal. Jamal Murray with 3 seconds. Over to Gordon, and Gordon's foul with 1.8. So Phoenix had a chance to maybe cut it to 25-26, but now Denver has a chance to extend it back to 30 because now they're going to the line again. Phoenix is not defended without fouling in this game at all whatsoever. You got to defend without fouling. I know they're in transition there, but it's because you turned it over. You can't turn it over. Phoenix has turned the ball over a lot more than Denver. You've got to do everything you possibly can not to get easy breakouts for the other team down the floor, breakaway layups and stuff like that. And they're just giving up fouls. They're giving up free throws. And Aaron Gordon, he hits that free throw. Again, much easier to hit him when you're up big. And one more free throw will put Denver up by 30. KD, Devin Booker, all of Phoenix is just in disbelief. I'm in utter disbelief. I cannot believe Phoenix is down by this much. You felt like Denver maybe could win this game because Phoenix was down DeAndre Ayton and Chris Paul, but down by 30, and that's the end of the first half. It's 81-51. 30-point lead for Denver, and we'll have to see if Phoenix has anything left in the tank in the second half, but it isn't looking good at all. Unbelievable. Largest halftime lead in franchise playoff history, 30 points for Denver. This is some pretty historic stuff. 81-51 at the half. Ohio State, it would be nice finally to see the Nuggets make the NBA Final for the first time ever. Yeah, that would be cool and crazy that they haven't made an NBA Finals yet, but like you said, they could. The way they're playing tonight, I know they haven't played like this all the time. If Denver does win this series, which is looking pretty good, they definitely could beat the Lakers or the Warriors. Yes, the Lakers and the Warriors are playing some high-quality basketball, especially the Lakers more consistently, but even the Warriors have had some good games. But you just feel like Denver would have a great chance to win if they play like this very consistently in that series. But we'll have to see. But Phoenix definitely not giving Denver a run for their money at all. Ohio State's campaign is on fire. Yeah, it's definitely the only player for sure that for Phoenix is on fire. He is the only one that has been making shots consistently. And Devin Booker, he's hit a few, but Kevin Durant, he's ice cold, and they're not getting any production from Jock Landale, Bismack Biyombo, especially on defense. They can't stop Jokic. Terrence Ross has had a couple bad plays. It is just not happening right now. Cameron Payne's been the only bright spot for sure, it seems. The Ohio State also says Jokic's touch on his shots is a thing of beauty. For sure, the way he drives into the lane and just flips it up and in is incredible because he makes it look easy. And it's not. It is hard to do. What he does is hard, but he makes it look so easy. And to your point, it is definitely a beautiful sight to behold. The Ohio State says, do you think the Heat and Lakers will both close out their series tomorrow night? Only Talk Sports. Great question. I feel like the Lakers have a great chance to do it. I know you can't count the Warriors out because the Warriors are the Warriors. You got Splash Brothers. They're a great team. They have so much experience. But the Lakers are at home, and they've been great at home. And they kind of gave up on that game at the Warriors. It kind of felt like, so since it kind of felt like they maybe gave up a little bit, maybe the Lakers are giving it all, or they're going to give it all that they got in Game 6 here. That could be the case. I'm not 100% sure if that's the case. I'm not saying that the Lakers did not play hard in game 5. I definitely think that they tried, but the Lakers know that this is their game. So I think they're going to give everything they got. But if they do lose tomorrow night, the Warriors can legitimately win the series, and that would be a utter collapse for the Lakers, and it would make a lot of LeBron James fans and Lakers fans upset for sure. They're not panic mode yet. As long as they win tomorrow night, they'll be good to go. But I think they have a great chance to win, even though I definitely will not count out the Warriors. But I think the Lakers have a great chance. With Miami, the Knicks are an interesting team because they have not played good at Miami, and they've really struggled in this series for the most part. They've had some bad games in this playoff series. So if they play bad tomorrow, Miami will win by default because Jimmy Butler, you just feel like he plays so much better at home, and he's going to have a big game, and they shoot better at home. So it kind of feels like Miami could get it done as well. I mean, I don't know if Miami, I'm not saying they're a fluke at all because they've been really solid in these playoffs, but they are a team that does struggle to shoot the ball at times. They've done a good job in these playoffs, but the Bucks, without Giannis, they were able to win that series and get it done, even though Giannis returned, and they've done good against the Knicks. The Knicks have not played some great basketball at times either, so it depends really on what the Knicks do. If the Knicks play bad, the Heat will win. So I think both of them could win. To your point, I think the Heat and the Lakers could both win for sure. I don't really know which one would be more likely. I kind of still feel like the Lakers have a better chance to close it out, even though it's against the Warriors, because the Lakers haven't played great at home. Miami, I think they can get it done, but New York, they play bad. I mean, I don't know if they're going to give up the series. It's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. I think both games are going to be great for sure. I'm definitely looking forward to both those games. Sure, you guys are as well. The Ohio State says, could this be the second straight season the Suns get eliminated in blowout fashion at home? Mavericks obliterated Suns in Game 7 last season. Nuggets were dominating early. 100%. I think I referenced that earlier. It feels exactly like Dallas. And you're on to it as well. I'm sure everybody is. It feels exactly like the Dallas series last year. I mean, it's the exact same. Phoenix had to beat Dallas at home, and then they got blown out, and their fans were disappointed. And it's happening again. And it just feels like, again, the Kevin Durant trade was not bad, but what they had to give away to get him is hurting them here. And now that they are down Chris Paul and DeAndre, they don't have enough. They just don't have enough. If it wasn't for Kevin Durant and Devin Booker having an incredible Game 3, they would not even be here right now. The series would be over. And I think that's an issue when you're looking at a series as a whole, is because even though a series might be 3-2, Denver's dominated the series, except for one game. That Phoenix had two players just on fire. And then, Phoenix won the next game, but that was because of the fact that you saw Phoenix have Landry Shamet play good as well, and still you have Booker and Durant playing at a high level. But I think that's the problem. I just think that Denver's dominated the series, but the Suns hung on as long as they could, and now they're out of gas. Booker with only 11, Durant only has like 6. They're out of gas. They just don't have anything left in the tank. It's just unfortunate. Jack says Katie's going to bail for a better situation again. Who knows? I mean, if that's the case, I mean, that would be just awful for Phoenix, because then they'll look at in the rear view and say, we should have kept Bridges. We should have kept Cam Johnson. Those guys were young and had long future careers ahead of them. And Mikal Bridges is becoming close to a star. And he probably will become one at the Nets because he will be such a focal point of the offense. But that's just unfortunate. You trade younger guys for Kevin Durant, who's an older guy, and he probably will leave. I mean, he's probably not going to stay with Phoenix, much longer, maybe another year. But Phoenix, it doesn't have the team to win it all right now, especially with the injuries. And Chris Paul, he's just older, and who knows if he'll be able to stay healthy. It's going to be interesting. Who knows? King Markey, thanks for being here. Hi, sorry yesterday, bro. I apologize. You're good. Really appreciate you for being here. Thanks for being here, King Markey. The Ohio State says Suns are not coming back from this deficit. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think they have a great chance. I mean, I don't think it's over with. I never want to think a game's over because we've seen crazy comebacks before. I mean, you have 24 minutes left. You're down 30. If you just make up around a point a minute, you can come back. But I don't think the Suns can do it because Denver's depth is ridiculous. Jokic is on fire. They don't have a big that can slow them down. I think I agree with you. I don't think they can come back either. The Ohio State says can't fault Cam Payne tonight, though. Payne's been playing so well, for sure. And it always seems like when a team's playing bad, One guy's not. One guy's always playing well. We've also seen teams where everybody's played bad, but Cameron Payne, he is that exception. He is that exception for sure. I completely agree. There's always one that plays well. Esco, thanks for being here. He says, only tall sport. What's up, my guy? Denver sure looks focused tonight, locked in. They look like they don't want to go back to Denver unless it's to prepare for their next opponent. Really appreciate you for being here, Esco, and I completely agree. They are locked in, and they are playing at an elite level. I mean, you cannot beat this performance. 81 points in the first half, whereas Philadelphia had 86 points in the entire game against Boston. That's only a 5-point difference. So you can't beat it. I mean, you just cannot beat it at all. And all Denver's got to do is play a C- second half, and they're going to win. As long as they just don't completely collapse, they're going to win this game. And I don't know if Phoenix is even – you'll know in the first 5 minutes of the second half if Phoenix is going to have any shot. If they're going out there and they go on like a quick 7-0 run, Denver calls a timeout, maybe. But if Phoenix just allows Denver to maintain this 30-point lead, it's over. Jackson says Caldwell Pope is balling tonight, and that's key because no one's expecting him to. For Denver in the last game, it was Bruce Brown that was doing it. Now it's Caldwell Pope. That's how you're a title team, when you have multiple guys that can step up. That's why I feel like Boston has a great chance to win the whole thing if they can do it, because they've got a deep team. So many guys can score. Tatum and Brown are the stars, and then you've got Marcus Smart. You've got Derek White. You've got Brogdon. You've got Al Horford, Robert Williams. So many guys that can contribute. That's how you win. And yes, you've had Boston struggle at times. That's been an issue in this series of consistency, especially when you look at, maybe even like Tatum at times hasn't even been that great, especially in this past game that he was great in the fourth quarter. And plus the 76ers really struggled overall in this game on the offense end. I think Boston did do a good job on defense, especially Robert Williams down low was a pest. But you have to be able to win a title now with superstars and depth. And I feel like Denver and Boston are the two teams that have the most of that. Denver has the stars. They've got Jokic. Jamal Murray is a star, especially when he's playing like it. But they've got Bruce Brown. They've got Caldwell Pope. They've got Porter Jr. They've got Gordon. I mean, it is a clinic of guys that can score. You could argue the Lakers and Warriors, whoever wins that series, could win it all as well because they have a lot of depth also. But the depth is key. You just cannot win with superstars anymore. And I don't know if you ever could, but maybe it was easier back in the day. But now you've got to have stars and depth. You have to have a complete team to win. You can't have holes. And if you do have a hole, they have to be monitored. Esco says, I was never, ever the biggest fan of Nikola Jokic, but this playoffs, I finally begun to embrace how great of a big man he truly is. Nicole's been bossing up for 2 rounds straight. Yeah, I agree with you. I know a lot of people fault his defense, but when you've got Aaron Gordon out there defending well and you've got some other guys on the team that are just defending well, it helps Jokic. And I feel like Jokic has gotten a bit better, especially when he's locked in. When he's locked in, he's a great defender. And his offense is so elite and his passing is so elite for a center that he makes defenses, struggle to even contain him at all, even if you have a great big of your own, because of the fact he's a guy that he doesn't even have to score to be effective. He can pass it to whoever, especially when someone has the hot hand. All he's got to do is get the ball to them, and that's just going to help Denver out. So, yes, I completely agree. Jokic is fantastic. Esco says to Jackson, KSB's channel is best Jamal Crawford impression. That's funny. That's a good one. V Ohio State says Jokic is just insane in the paint. I mean, Denver's been insane in the paint. The whole team has been getting paint points. The whole team is just on fire in the paint. I think they probably have to have like 45, 50 paint points. So I don't know exactly how many they have, but they have dominated the paint. And you're going to win games when you are, because that means your points are easier and you can keep getting them. Whereas Phoenix, they're not getting a lot of easy paint touches and they're having to shoot a lot of mid-range. And I know with Kevin Durant, that's his signature shot, but when you're not making it, sometimes you have to do something else. And it's just nothing's working for Phoenix. Jackson says, Esco, do you think the Nuggets can get a title this year? I think they can. I mean, you look at Denver right now, the way they're playing, if this is the way that they play in every single game for the rest of the playoffs, they're going to win a title. Now, they're not going to play like this for the rest of the time. I mean, there's going to be games that they don't play as well. But Denver, in this game particularly, looks like the best team in the NBA because they don't have many holes. They're doing everything well. And that's why Boston's so great as well, because the depth's there. And I feel like Denver could win it all. They can. Does it mean they will? No, but they can for sure. And that's a great sign for Denver Nuggets fans. And a lot of people have not believed in Denver because they've been a team that's struggled to get this far. And a lot of people don't have trust in them because they've blown a lot of, playoff series early, kind of like Philadelphia. And that's why people are worried with Philadelphia now having to go back to Boston. But they have beaten Boston in Boston, so we'll have to see. But when you have a team that has a reputation of losing earlier in the playoffs than people think you should, people just think you're going to keep doing it until you prove them otherwise. Well, Denver right now is proving it. And they're 24 minutes away from moving on to the Western Conference Finals, face the winner of the Warriors-Lakers. Esco says, only talk sport, you need to call the Warriors and Lakers the most exciting series in the second round. He with all the block game, LeBron versus must-see TV. For sure, I did do some Warriors-Lakers in the past. I'll definitely have to try to do potentially that. I've definitely been kind of busy, but I really appreciate you guys for being here. It will be very interesting. I'll definitely try, but I really appreciate you guys for being here. Nonetheless, it means a lot. I really appreciate it, but for sure, it is must-see TV. All of these games are. I mean, even this game right here, even though it's over in a lot of people's minds, unless somehow Phoenix can make an incredible comeback, it's still, must-see TV if you're an NBA fan or a basketball fan. Because, I mean, it's just fantastic, basketball. All these great players just showcasing their talents. It's incredible. But I really appreciate you for being here, Esco. I definitely try to do as many games as possible, but I really appreciate you for being here. It means a lot. The Ohio State says, I wish Steph was more clutch late in playoff games. Steph was beyond amazing, but he is over 12 in his career in playoff game on shots to take the lead in the last 45 seconds of playoff games. That's a good point. I mean, the sample size is small. 0 for 12. I mean, it's not like he's 0 for 40 or anything like that, but your point is valid for sure. You are right. I mean, when you're as great of a player as Steph, I mean, you got to be able to make big buckets in clutch games in the playoffs. I agree with you. But he is such a fantastic shooter that a lot of the times the Warriors have been up big where they don't need him to be clutch late, in a game, in a situation like that. But this year's different. I mean, they're going up against the Lakers and they're providing a tall task. So we're going to have to see for sure who wins that series. But it definitely is looking like the Lakers, but we'll have to see. Asco says to Jackson, it's possible, very, very possible. I think the champion is coming out of the West no matter who it is. I just think Boston and Philly have both been good, but at times inconsistent. Yeah, and it's crazy with Boston because Boston has not been, inconsistent until now, it seems. Like, I know they've had some inconsistencies in the regular season, but for a time, they were the most dominant team in the NBA. They were on an incredible stretch for a while. And to your point, they have been inconsistent. But I still feel like Boston is the best team in the East when they're playing at a high level. Nothing against Philly, Miami, or the other teams. And Philly could win the series. But I still feel like even if Philly does win the series, Boston is the best team in the East when they're playing at a high level. It's just they have not been playing consistently well. So if you're Boston, you got to play some of your best basketball in Game 7 or you're not going to win the series and Philly will be able to win. But Boston is the best team in the East when they're playing at their best. Esco says, resigning DeAndre Ayton was not smart. CP3 is injury prone nowadays. Booker is such talent, but he can't do it all by himself. KD is still great. He's an age superstar, plus Phoenix is limited bench. Everything you just said, Esco, is 100% spot on. Resign DeAndre Ayton. I mean, it's not that DeAndre Ayton is not a great player, but he's not one of the top tier bigs either. I don't know. It's one of those things where he does work better in the West than going up against the East bigs, except Jokic. CP3, he's older and he has been hurt a lot. CP3 is a fantastic point guard, but for sure, I agree with that. Booker is great. We can't do it all. KD, I mean, Kevin Durant's great, but it's not enough, especially with CP3 and 8 now. It's just not enough, and Phoenix has no bench. Everything you said is correct. Jack Esco, especially the Sixers, they are very inconsistent. I hope they can win the East, but I just don't see it happening. The 76ers could win the East. I mean, they got a good team, but Boston is the best team in the East. But like I said, the best team doesn't always win it, so we're going to have to see. It's going to be very interesting. Esco says, Jackson only tells us, why doesn't Golden State utilize the talent and youth of Jonathan Kuminga? I think they could get something out, especially this Clay is either on or off. Yeah, that's a great point. And Jonathan Kuminga, in the limited minutes he played the other night, when the Warriors were, winning the game, and they brought him in, he was pretty good. So I completely agree with you. I mean, Jonathan Kuminga is solid. I mean, he is definitely a talented player. Durant only with 8, Booker with 11. It's not going to get it done. But we're at the start of the third quarter. That halftime, it probably couldn't be any longer for Phoenix. They're wanting to go out and do something big, and right off the bat, Booker misses a 3. The Ohio State said this is getting beyond ridiculous. I completely agree. Go Tire says that's why you don't trade all your depth pieces for one player. 100%. I mean, you guys are all right. You just can't trade everything away for one guy. I completely agree. If you think about it, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder average more points than Kevin Durant does by himself. That should tell you everything you need to know right there. Landry Shamet on the other end, he misses a three, but there is a foul. Don't know if it's on, I think it is on Phoenix. I don't know. Maybe they called him out of bounds. Not 100% sure, but it will be Denver ball nonetheless. Go Tigers to Esco. They can get anything from Wiseman. He gets traded, then starts going off for Detroit. Yeah, they definitely couldn't get anything, and then he starts playing with that. That's what you meant for sure. Yeah, Wiseman, he's playing much better for Detroit for sure. 81-51, a 30-point lead for Denver. 11-10 to go in the third quarter. Jokic with the ball to call up over to Porter Jr. in the corner, and his shot is off the mark. So Phoenix getting a couple stops, even though they left Porter Jr. wide open in the corner. Phoenix got lucky. He missed. Durant down the lane, tries to kick the Landale right through, hit underneath him, right through his legs, and the ball is out of bounds. So Jock Landale cannot hold on to the ball. The Ohio State, there it is, Nuggets at the 80-point mark in the first half. Yeah, that's insane. That is an insane first half. They're showing it's one of the worst deficits ever when facing elimination. Only 34 for Golden State against Milwaukee in 71. That's a long time ago. Porter Jr. turns it over for the Denver Nuggets. That's the second turnover for Denver. You definitely don't want to get sloppy for Denver and start to let Phoenix get some confidence. Go Tigers to the Suns was one of the worst defensive teams after the trade for Durant. No play defense on that team. 8. Paul, Katie Burr. Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you. None of them are the best defenders in the world. That's true. So they have to score a lot of points to win. You are right. Shamet down low to Landale for 2. So Phoenix does score. 81-53. To start a comeback, it's got to start somewhere. 28-point deficit. 10-20 go in the third quarter. Jokic to Murray. Now it's over to Gordon in the corner. Gordon, he thought about the three, thought better of it. Now you've got Jamal Murray with it, palming the ball, tries to drive Bob Booker all the way into the lane, and that is almost a turnover. Porter Jr., he misses the layup. He had a really good look, too, but he could not get it to fall. Now KD back the other way. KD in the mid-range, and KD knocks down the shot. That was a pretty mid-range shot, his signature shot right there. 9:50 to go in the third quarter, 26-point lead for Denver. So Phoenix has scored 4 points. Now you've got Jokic with the basketball, top of the key with Landale on him over to Gordon. If you're Denver, you probably want to keep scoring. You do not want Phoenix to get back in the game. If you're Phoenix, you're hoping that Denver keeps on missing. Now Jamal Murray over to Jokic, and Jokic with a pretty Euro step, and he laid it in. 83-55. That was a fantastic play by Jokic. What a Euro step. He has got all the moves. 9:25 to go in the third. Landry Shamet for 3. He knocks it down. 25-point deficit. Phoenix, 7-2 run to start the half. Not too bad right there. 9:15 to go in the third quarter. They're still down big. That's not a bad start. Jamal Murray, top of the key, being guarded by Shamet, kicks to Jokic. 9:05 to go in the third quarter. Jokic being guarded by Landale, trying to make a move, gets the ball to Murray. Murray in the lane, back to Jokic, and the ball is out of bounds, but it is off of Phoenix. Go Tigers. To the Warriors have a huge turnover problem. The Lakers are super inconsistent. They need the refs to help them with a huge free throw difference. Yeah, the Warriors, they do have a huge turnover problem. When they're making shots, they're still dangerous, but I agree with the Lakers are inconsistent. It's interesting. That's going to be an interesting series. Tomorrow night, the Lakers and Warriors are going to be interesting, but right now, Phoenix down by 25, facing elimination, and Murray, he misses. So Devin Booker's got the rebound right there. Who knows? Maybe they can still make a comeback. Don't know if they can, but there is a foul on the other end. Devin Booker was fouled in Denver. You do not want to rack up some fouls at all. You want to play good defense. A 25-point lead for the Denver Nuggets. Still up big, even though they have not had the best start to the second half. Devin Booker, he's got the ball. 8:40 to go in the third quarter. He's being guarded by Murray. Devin Booker into the lane. Booker gets swallowed up by Murray. What great defense. Now you've got Cameron Payne, 2 seconds on the shot on the mid-range, and his shot went in and out, and Jokic with another rebound. Jokic has to be over double-digit boards by now. He could have another triple-double at this rate. Jamal Murray over to Aaron Gordon down low, and Gordon's 2 is good. Not good defense from Phoenix to prove Go Tigers point. You said they're not good at defense, and I would agree. They're not defending at a high level at all. KD on the other end, though, with a sweet turnaround. So he's starting to get going. That's exactly what Phoenix needs. They need KD to start making some shots, but it might be too late, but you can never give up. 85-60. Did they call an offensive foul on Denver? I think they did. They called it on Jokic, and he's in disbelief. But there is a foul right there. 8:01 to go in the third quarter. 25-point deficit for Phoenix. They were down 30 at the half, so they've made up 5 points in 4 minutes. If they can keep that up for the rest of the game, they're on track to maybe be able to make it interesting late. But it's going to take a lot more than what they've done to get back in this game. Booker, top of the key, kicks to Landale. Great pass. And Landale down low, he dunks the ball in, but they're not going to give him the score because they're going to call the foul on the floor. Go Tiger says if it's true that AD is a concussion, then he won't play in game 6, and I don't see how they win without him. For sure, you are right about that, but I did think I saw that Anthony Davis is probable to play. I think he is probable. Landale over to Kevin Durant, back to Landale, and this time Landale gets the shot to go. 85-62, and Michael Malone is furious. He is mad with Denver because they've let the 30-point lead go down to 23, and he could see it potentially slipping away their big lead. He is mad and going off. I don't blame him. You want to keep your team focused and be able to find a way to pull out this victory. But I agree with you, Edward. You're right. If Anthony Davis was out, it would be horrible for the Lakers, but I do think he's going to play. Go Tiger says the Knicks have been struggling on offense and defense. Completely agree. I mean, you're right. They've not done a great job on either end of the floor, but the Knicks still in the series. So we'll have to see. If Miami was not fortunate enough to have the Knicks struggling so much on both ends of the floor, plus the fact that they've had some injuries as well. Randall, he missed a game, and you also had Quickly. He's missed some games. I think he's going to be out again. That's a problem. You can't have bad games at this time of the year in the NBA playoffs. You can't have bad games. And to your point, the Knicks have struggled, so that plays a role. It plays a big role for sure. So we'll have to see if the Knicks can find a way to win at Miami, keep the series alive. Michael Williams, thanks for being here. And you said blowout. You're right. Completely correct. Blowout. I mean, this has been a blowout, but still, Phoenix cut it to 23. Maybe it can get a little bit interesting. Still plenty of time. We'll have to see. But definitely it has been a blowout for sure. The Denver Nuggets have been on fire. That first half was glorious basketball by Denver. If you love offense and you love a whole entire team playing at a high level, that's what you got with Denver. Jokic was on fire. Murray was on fire. Caldwell Pope was on fire. They were on fire, the whole team, and Phoenix just could not get anything going. And even if Phoenix could, have made a lot of shots in the first half, if Kevin Durant was on fire, you can't allow 81 points in the first half. Maybe 60, 65, and maybe you've got like 57 because Phoenix had like 51 and Phoenix had like 57 and Denver had 65 or something like that. That would be tolerable. But 81 to 51, a 30-point deficit, and you gave up 81 points in that. That would be 162 points if Denver scored 81 again. Now, Denver's not on track to do that. They've only scored 4 points in the first 4 minutes of the third quarter, which is why Michael Malone promptly called timeout, which is smart because if you allow Phoenix to cut it to like 17, 16 and then call a timeout, calling timeout right now while you're still up 23 is smart because all Denver has to do is a couple buckets and you've basically snuffed out Phoenix again. But you don't want to give Phoenix any momentum. So I think Michael Malone was really smart calling the TO right there. But Phoenix, you can't be down 30 at half, especially in an elimination game because you're in an elimination game. Even if you're not playing well on offense and you lose, you got to defend well. You got to defend better than that because it looks better if you don't lose by a lot. If you lose by like 100-95, and you can just say, well, Phoenix struggled on offense. They added a few more shots. Maybe they're out of gas, but they gave it their all. They lost the series, blah, blah, blah. But they're down big. They're really struggling. They were down by 30. And even if they lose by like 18 points, if Denver's got like 130 points, it's just not a good look at all. Esco says Katie's going to the NCAA Women's LSU Tigers team. That's a funny one right there, Esco. Jack says, I'm thinking he's about to go to Denver as well. You never know. I mean, I think Denver's kind of overloaded for that. I wouldn't think that Denver would want to trade away like Michael Porter and Aaron Gordon to get KD, stuff like that. I think they like their depth. I don't know if they would do that, but who knows? Maybe they will. It'll be interesting. Go Tiger says the Time Lord was huge tonight. Yes, Robert Williams was great. He was fantastic tonight. And the Celtics need to play him more. His defensive presence is so good. He does so much down low, even when he doesn't score a lot. He gave Boston so many extra possessions, and he was part of the reason Philly only had 86 points, which Denver's already at 85, 7:30 to go in the third. Jamal Murray with the basketball after the Michael Malone timeout. Murray top of the key, being guarded by Landale over to Jokic. Jokic in the corner, Porter Jr. for three, and his shot was wide open, but he couldn't get it to fall. Shamet with the board. Booker down the floor, 7:15 to go in the third. Booker over to Landry Shamet, and a bad turnover by Landry Shamet. What a steal by Jamal Murray. Murray pulls from three. His shot is no good. Probably should have taken that one to the rim, but he was open. That is the name of the game in the NBA today. Take the three when you could take the two. Devin Booker down the floor again. Phoenix down by 23, under 7 to go in the third quarter. We got around 19 minutes left in this game. Landell over to Payne to Shamet for three, and Shamet, he can't hit that shot. Porter Jr., he's got that rebound right there. Now Murray down the floor to Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon gets it to Jokic, and Jokic with another teardrop. What a floater by Nikola Jokic. He is so good at that. 87-62, back up to 25 for Denver. And Jokic with 24.7 rebounds, 7 assists. Feels like he has more boards than that, but he has been great. And now Jokic to Jamal Murray, and Murray gets the ball poked away from him. That was almost a sweet play right there, but good recovery by Phoenix not to give up the easy layup. 6:24 to go in the third quarter. That was a great recovery by Booker. Maybe you could say it was a foul in the arm, but that was still a great play by Devin Booker. He got all ball. Now Jokic gets the ball on the inbounds, top of the key, kicks over to Jamal Murray. 6:10 to go in the third quarter. Jokic down low to Gordon for a dunk. What a play. 89-62. Great chemistry there. You can just tell Jokic is in complete command of the team. He can pass it to whomever he wants, whenever he wants. 6 to go in the third. Durant, top of the key with a floater, and he banked it in, but it does not count. I think they call that foul on the floor. That was an incredible shot by KD. Unfortunately, it just doesn't count. I don't know how he got that shot to fall, especially as cold as he's been tonight, but unfortunately for Phoenix, it does not count. They're going to have to inbound the ball again. And now you've got KD down low again, and he scores. So he makes up for the one that they did not give him. 89-64, 5:50 to go in the third quarter. 25-point lead for Denver. Phoenix is still not getting it down to where they need it, though, and not quick enough. They had it down to 23, but then it just kind of hovered there. Now Denver's starting to score again. Jokic, top of the key. Now to Jamal Murray. Murray into the lane, back to Jokic. What a pass to Porter Jr. and Porter Jr. for two. And again, Jokic dropping dimes. What a pass. 91-64, 5:20 to go in the third quarter. 52 paint points for Denver, 30 for Phoenix. They're dominating the paint points, assists, turnover category, everything Denver is doing. Now KD in the lane to Jock Landell. What a foul by Jokic, preventing him from getting that layup. Did not want him to get that easy layup right there. Jock Landell will have to earn it at the stripe. 91-64. Denver's up by 27. And again, the time frame for Phoenix to have any shot to come back is getting slimmer and slimmer by the minute. Go Tiger says, great move by Joe to start him against Embiid. Completely agree. Great decision by Missoula. Tom Ward's great. The Ohio State says Andrew Wiggins is questionable for Game 6 for Warriors with a rib fracture. If Wiggins isn't near 100%, Warriors are not winning Game 6 of the series. They need Wiggins' D and toughness. Yeah, I would agree. If that's the case, especially in the fact that Anthony Davis will be playing, yeah, that's not good at all. I completely agree with you. But Phoenix, they hit the first free throw. So it's 91-65. KD hitting that free throw. But look at Michael Malone. His coaching on that sideline when Phoenix was making a little bit of a run. He was yelling at his team. He definitely wants his team not to slip up and give up the lead. What a play. Missed the second free throw. Actually, Jock Landell was at the line. I forgot 65-91. They're down by 26. 5 to go at the third. Kevin Durant definitely would have hit both, but Landell, he misses one right there. 5 to go on the third. Aaron Gordon, top of the key. Now it's over to Jokic. Denver has just dominated this entire game after the first quarter. Jokic to Caldwell Pope. He's been quiet since that hot start to the game. He misses a three. Kevin Durant down the floor to Devin Booker. Phoenix is dangerous in transition. They've not had a lot of opportunities. KD down the floor, back to Booker. Booker over in the corner to Cameron Payne, and Cameron Payne splashes in another three. He has been a big bright spot for Phoenix. He has not hit a shot in a while, but that was a big one. He's got over 20 points. Unbelievable right there. Cameron Payne, 22 points, 6 of 6 from 3, 91-68, 4:20 to go in the third quarter. Jamal Murray trying to shake Kevin Durant over to Jokic. Jokic back to Murray. Murray kicks back to Jokic for two, and Jokic's shot is off the mark, but Gordon taps it back out to Caldwell Pope. He misses the three. Now Bruce Brown in the action. He lays it in. 93-68. Unbelievable there. Denver is just crashing the boards. They're doing a great job. 7 offensive rebounds to Phoenix's 2 and a turnover. Booker turns it over. Bruce Brown down the floor to Caldwell Pope in the corner to Murray for 3, and he knocks it down. 96-68. No timeout from Phoenix. What can they do? 3:35 to go in the third. Cameron Payne drives it down the floor, and I think he turns it over. He loses the basketball out of bounds, and it is just going from bad to worse for the Phoenix Suns. They just can't get anything going. Go Tigers. That's because Doc Rivers is a bad coach. It's probably by the chip he won with the big three and Rondo and that super deep team we had back then. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's unfortunate for Philly if they do lose because of the fact that they have a good team and they have Boston on the ropes. But yeah, Doc Rivers has lost a lot of series. It's very interesting there for sure. 96-68, 3:20 to go in the third quarter. Jokic is out, and he's in a little bit of pain, so that'll be something to monitor. Hopefully he's okay because Denver definitely needs a healthy Jokic. Jamal Murray backing it back out. Cameron Payne is on him. Jamal Murray through the legs with the dribble. 3:10 to go in the third. Murray, he tried to get it over to Bruce Brown, but a steal by Booker. Booker down the lane, and he draws a foul, and I think he will have some free throws. So a nice play by Booker with that steal. You got to give Phoenix credit for still playing defense at times, but it might not be enough because they are down by 28 points. I mean, you got to give complete credit to Denver on both ends of the floor on offense and on defense, just playing at an extremely high level. And that is how you win in the NBA playoffs. That's how you win an NBA title potentially, is playing at a high level game in and game out with your depth helping you out. Booker, he hits the first. So it's 96-69. 3:09 to go in the third. Jokic, you can definitely tell, is in a little bit of pain. Jackson says Doc Rivers is great in the regular season, but he's a disaster in the postseason. I mean, definitely, he's had a lot of struggles with his teams in the postseason. It's crazy. I mean, I don't know if that's just him or the players he has. I know a lot of people will talk about the coach. I mean, it definitely could be. So it's interesting. It is really interesting for sure. Now with 3:09 to go in the third quarter, still now the referees are talking about something. I'm not 100% sure what they're talking about. Devin Booker's supposed to have another free throw, but Booker and Murray are talking about something. Sure, they will get that resolved. Go Tigers. The Doc is not good, period. He's been coaching a stacked team and fails every year to make adjustments, period. You don't get paid to be a regular season coach, period. Yeah, I agree, but coaches matter for sure, but players have to win you the games. So it depends on like the players that he's had. Maybe they've struggled. I don't know. But I mean, you are right. The coach is important. The coach does play a role. It's an interesting argument either way. I think it definitely is something that, you know, plagues, especially every team he's coached and their fan bases because they want to win. And when they don't have success, it is frustrating. But it's interesting. Go Tigers. It can't be a great coach when you have blown the most 3-2 lead in the NBA history. Yeah, that's crazy. 96-69, 3:09 to go in the third. Devin Booker at the line for the second free throw. Finally, after all of that, I think it was just some substitutions going on, but he misses it. Maybe a little bit too much time between those free throws right there, and that's why he missed. Jamal Murray, he's got the ball, swinging it over to Bruce Brown. Denver in cruise control right here. 2:55 to go in the third. Bruce Brown through the lane. Wow, just dashing up Phoenix's defense with an relatively easy-looking layup, but again, a hard play. Denver's making this look easy. Some of these plays are not easy, but they're making it look extremely easy. And Katie on the other end, that's a nice mid-range shot, 98-71. But Phoenix is still down by 27. 2:30 to go in the third quarter. Jackson with the 98-86 Game 6 loss. The Celtics. Doc Rivers now 17-32 all the time with an opportunity to close out a playoffs through minimum 15 games. 30 losses, the most by any coach in NBA history. That is crazy. Those are some crazy stats. Gordon down low. I think they might have called a foul on Phoenix. Maybe 2:21 to go in the third quarter. If they did call a foul on Phoenix, that isn't good because of the fact that they cannot afford more foul shots for Denver. But we have a TV timeout, so we'll see after the break. The Ohio State's this nice stat. Jackson, if 76ers lose the Celtics on Sunday in Game 7, I just don't see how they can stick with Doc Rivers as the head coach. Well, you saw what the Bucks did with Budenholzer, and I mean, that's a little bit different because Budenholzer had the fact that Giannis was out 3 games, and he still got fired. So, and they won an NBA title. So, I mean, the way teams are today with coaches, they're definitely firing them a lot quicker than they used to in the past, especially even when you win, if you're not winning enough. which we've seen with a lot of programs in college sports. It's tough when you get a coach fired, that was going like 8-4 in college football, and then you fire him, and then the next coach goes 5-7. Sometimes be happy with what you have, and it's worse when you get rid of, your coach is doing decently well, and then you get another one that's worse. But to your guys' points, Philly is a really good team, and if Doc Rivers can't get him further than this, maybe another coach will be able to get him to where they want to go. So it's always interesting. It can go both ways on a lot of situations, but it is an interesting point for sure. The Ohio State says it is nice that Doc Rivers has at least one title with the Celtics in 08, but overall, he's just not that good of a playoff coach at all. Again, you guys make a lot of great points for sure. The Ohio State also says, with all the talent Rivers has had so many seasons, he should be advancing far in playoffs so much more. It's almost like a college coach, again, especially in college football. If you got a stacked team, people talk about like Jimbo Fisher going 5-7. I mean, that was a tough season for Texas A&M, but when you got the best talent, you got to go at least 9-3, 10-2. Same thing in the NBA. If you got a stacked team, you got to be going to finals and, in conference finals at least. You can't lose earlier than that. I mean, you guys make a lot of great points for sure. You just got to do better than that. Go Tigers. Is crazy thing is a lot of those Celtics players have come out and said Dot didn't do much for that team staff. The plays, it was all player-driven chip. I mean, you definitely could be right. I mean, the players make a big role. I mean, you have to have great players to win, but sometimes a great coach can be the icing on the cake to get them over the top, to be able to help guide the team. But it's an interesting point. But right now, I don't know if people are going to be saying the exact same thing about Monty Williams, but right now, Phoenix, back-to-back years, probably going to get blown out in the elimination game. Last year, Dallas got blown out. This year, getting blown out, more likely at the end of the game, will still be getting blown out by the Denver Nuggets, and you're in an elimination game. And Phoenix was a team that got Kevin Durant to be able to win a tie. Yes, Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton are out. That's not Monty Williams' fault, but this is really bad for Phoenix. The Ohio State said, that Celtics team is so loaded with Garnett, Pierce, Allen, Rondo, and great role player. Too many of those Celtics series were much closer than they should have been. Again, very interesting point. You guys are going back in the memory bank. Those were fun teams to watch. I was very young, but those were very fun teams to watch. Go Tigers says because Dot wasn't a great coach and Rondo followed the time for play calls. Rondo didn't think Dot knew what he was talking about. Again, very interesting stuff. I don't know if Doc Rivers can help Philly beat Boston in Game 7. It will be very interesting, but we're going to have to see what happens. The Ohio State's in that 08 title run still as well as every single road game in the first 2 rounds. 09, my young Bulls took the experience to 7 games in the first round. That's crazy. Some crazy statistics. Guys, higher than you think about those Clippers team that were stat and they couldn't get over the hump. Yeah, that's interesting. The Ohio State, the Celtics couldn't close out the Lakers after being up 3-2 in the 2010 NBA Finals. They couldn't close out the Heat after being up 3-2 in the Eastern Conference Finals 2012. Well, the Heat were stacked too. The Heat were stacked. You had LeBron, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. But, I mean, you guys are making great points. The Ohio State, the Clippers blowing the 3-1 lead to the Rockets in 2015 was embarrassing as well. Definitely very interesting stuff. You've got a 98-71 lead for the Denver Nuggets over Phoenix. 2:10 to go in the third. And now you've got Jamal Murray for 3, and it's back to 30. Denver has eclipsed the 100 mark. 101-71. 30-point lead. Phoenix is probably done. I don't know. I don't think they can come back. There's not enough time. This is incredible by Denver. Phoenix, Devin Booker with the basketball, swinging it over to Lee. He lays it in. 101-73. It would take an epic collapse for Phoenix to come back. Denver has controlled the game from wire to wire since they took control of the game late in that first quarter. Denver with 56 paint points. With the NBA being so three-point oriented, that is incredible for them to have as many paint points as they do. I get it. DeAndre Ayton being out's a problem, but still, that is insane. Now Murray in the mid-range. Murray's off the mark. Cameron Payne with the board going down the floor. He gets stopped by Denver's defense that's done a much better job than Phoenix has done. Now you've got KD in the lane going up strong 4-2-1. Great play by Kevin Durant. 1:15 to go in the third quarter. He cuts it to 26. Go Tigers. Just look at the game night. We start Rob and Dot didn't adjust all game long. It's a good point. I mean, Robert Williams is a fantastic player. He's hard to stop, but definitely have to find a way to slow him down if you want to win. The Ohio State's amazing how much pressure is going to be on the 76 and Doc Rivers on Sunday. And the Ohio State, I fully expect Celtics to win Game 7. If the Celtics play better than they did tonight, they can win Game 7. Kevin Durant, his free throw is good. 101-76, so a 25-point lead for Denver. A little over a minute to go in the third quarter. Bruce Brown bringing the basketball up the floor. You feel like Denver, if they score like 20 to 25 more points, they should be fine in this game. Bruce Brown misses a layup, though. Now Phoenix back the other way. Starting to get a bit of momentum. Now, KD with the basketball being guarded by Christian Braun, who's into the game for Denver. That's a matchup advantage for KD, but he gives the ball up, and Phoenix cannot hit the three. Now, Jamal Murray with the ball slowing it down. Smart by Denver. Got to get a good shot. However, you can't just slow it down and then not get a good shot. You still got to do everything you possibly can to be able to take good shots and still run your offense, but just kind of slow it down a bit to run that clock down. But Denver misses again. Phoenix has the basketball. KD for two. His shot is no good. Aaron Gordon with the easy rebound. 20 seconds left in the third quarter. We're about to be in the final quarter of play in this elimination game with Phoenix potentially done. 12 seconds left. Jamal Murray with Devin Booker on him. Under 10 seconds to go. Down to 5 seconds. Jamal Murray in the lane with a step back shot. He misses, but he's fouled by Devin Booker. Not a good foul. I get Devin Booker trying to guard. That was good defense until he got him with the arm. What a play by Jamal Murray drawing that foul. And that can extend the Nuggets lead again. The absolute worst momentum play that could possibly happen for Phoenix when you've got it to 25 right at the end of the third quarter, and now you're giving Denver potentially 2 free points, and Murray will probably hit him. He does hit the first because of the fact that you do have the confidence of being up by so much. Murray's a great free throw shooter as well. That does not hurt. But when you're up big, it's so much easier to hit free throws. Jamal Murray, his second free throw is good as well. 103-76. Denver's up by 27 points. 3 seconds to go. Phoenix to inbound. KD to Ross. Ross will take the shot with 0.3, and his shot's no good. And that is the end of the third quarter. 103-76. It cannot get much worse for Phoenix. Wow, what a game by the Denver Nuggets. They didn't have the greatest third quarter. They only had like 22 points in the third quarter. They had 81 at the half, but it doesn't matter. When you're up by this much, it just does not matter. You've done all the work already. The Ohio State, I think the Final Four will be Heat versus Celtics and Lakers versus Nuggets. Great assumption. I mean, a lot of people feel like the Celtics are going to win. They're at home. They definitely could. Miami, I think they should be able to get past the Knicks if they play well in Game 6. If they play well in Game 6. They lose Game 6, they can lose the series. And then the Lakers, Nuggets, yeah, I agree with you. I think the Lakers should beat the Warriors, especially with Wiggins out. So we'll have to see, but great predictions there for sure via Ohio State. Go Tiger says if it was for the 2 last second shot by Harden, it would have been a 4-0. Just thinking about that. Congratulating Harden for making the shots. Completely agree. I've said that as well. I completely agree. Boston could have already won the series. And I know there's nothing you can do about it. You know, other team wins the game, no matter what they do. But Boston could have already won the series, but they did allow Harden to hit those shots, and that's why it was 2-2, and then you lost and went down 3-2. Because really the only game Boston played bad was Game 5. Boston played well in Game 1 and Game 4, but they lost both games because Harden hit a shot at the end. But Boston did not play good in Game 5. It was the only game they played bad in. But I really think that Boston could have won the series 4-0. But as long as Boston plays a good game in Game 7, they're going to win the series. Esco says, only top sport, what can Phoenix do to improve this team? Get depth. That's a great question, Esco, but they got to get depth. They have to. Because as is, their team is just not good enough to win a title. And it won't be next year, even with healthy Paul and healthy Ayton. With all these teams that there are in the NBA and the amount of depth these teams have, there's no way Phoenix can win a title unless they get more depth. It's going to definitely have to have more depth. The Ohio State says, yeah, 76ers and Harden had to play so well to win games 1 and 4. 100%. That was the only way they could win. And again, kudos to them for getting it done. I mean, it doesn't mean at all that the 76ers aren't a great team. They are. But if it wasn't for how great that they played, there's no chance. There's no way that they're still in this series. Boston is the deeper team. I think Boston's the better team. But the better team doesn't always win either. So it's really interesting for sure. I think that the 76ers did a good job. But Boston is definitely the deeper team, and if they play well in Game 7, they'll win the series. Go Tigers. So now there's rumors that Giannis wants to keep Mike, and I probably won't sign the extension now. Mike's brother passed away in a car after Game 3 and still didn't miss a game. Yeah, that's interesting. It's really interesting for sure. There's a lot of stuff going on in the NBA world. Go Tigers. Esco in the offseason, they need depth, Pete. That's it, really. Pieces. So you definitely answered the same question. I agree. Esco, like you asked, for sure, if they're going to get any better, they're going to have depth, because as is, they have no depth. The Ohio State says, yeah, I heard about Budenholzer, brother. That was so incredibly sad and off. Feel for Budenholzer. I know that definitely fed emotionally and mentally coaching. Yeah, rest in peace to Budenholzer's brother. It's always sad for sure. It's always sad with death. It's so unfortunate, especially when, at times like this when you can't have it happen. If you remember Cassius Winston in college basketball and his brother he passed away, and he was sad, and it was just horrible to watch because he was so upset. And Tom Izzo consoled him. It's just so awful to see. Rest in peace to everyone that passed away. Denny Crum recently, just so many guys. It's just so sad to see, but it is what it is. But for Budenholzer, right, it stinks that he got fired. I mean, he won a title and he had a lot of success, but it is what it is. The Ohio State says, I don't know how Budenholzer was even able to coach after that, for sure. I mean, it's awful. I mean, it stinks that he got fired. I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. I think he did a good job there. I mean, won 68% of his games. But, yes, the team was aging, and maybe they just feel a new coach is what they need. I don't know. Go Tigers, I don't know either, probably because he loved his players. The Ohio State agrees. Go Tigers, the GM failed the Bucks about Mike catches the bullet. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Sometimes it's the way it works. So now you've got 103-76, 11:40 to go in the fourth, and you've got Christian Braun driving into the lane, and he is fouled from behind. So he will be shooting some free throws here to be able to extend Denver's lead even more. But right now, Phoenix just can't catch a break. And it definitely looks like they are about to give up, which is very unfortunate. I know Chris Paul's upset he couldn't play. He definitely wanted to play to try to win a title, but he was just not healthy at all. And Devin Booker and Kevin Durant just ran out of gas. It's very unfortunate, but it is what it is. Christian Braun, he hits the first free throw. Very solid player for Denver that I think could really improve in the future. He's got a lot of game and a lot of upside, and he hits the second free throw. Barely it went in. 105-76, and that's a 29-point lead for the Denver Nuggets. They are almost up by 30 points yet again. 11:40 to go in the fourth. What does Phoenix have in the tank? Jock Landale with a turnover almost, but I think they might have called a foul. It looked like he might have been fouled on the arm. He was trying to go up with it, but he is going to get that foul, and I think he's going to go to the line. The Ohio State, who do you think the Bucks' new coach will be? I think it'll likely be Nick Nurse and could maybe be Frank Vogel or Kenny Atkinson, but I think Nurse will get the Bucks coaching gig. That's interesting. That's really interesting. 11:30 to go in the fourth. I'll say that right after a couple more plays. That's really interesting. Kevin Durant driving into the lane, 4-2. What a play by Kevin Durant. 105-78 is probably too little too late, but still a nice play by KD nonetheless. Down by 27, 11:10 to go in the fourth quarter. Bruce Brown bringing the ball up the floor. Now it's over to Jeff Green to Caldwell Pope. Denver in cruise control. Now Jokic back to Caldwell Pope for three, and his shot is good, but I think they call an illegal screen, so the shot does not count. Really good shot there, but it's not going to count. Yeah, it's really interesting when mentioning Nick Nurse, because Nick Nurse had a way worse record than Budenholzer. I know he won a title as well, but it doesn't really make sense to replace Budenholzer with Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse did good with the Raptors, winning that title with Leonard, but outside Cameron Payne just scored a 2 for Phoenix, cut it to 25. But I don't know. That's really interesting. It could be Frank Vogel or Kenny Atkinson. I have no idea, really. It's going to be interesting because I still feel like they should have given Budenholzer another year or two. Maybe people feel differently. I don't know. I mean, I'm not the top GM guys. They definitely know what they're doing usually, for sure. With coaches, they know when it's time to get rid of a coach, but I have no idea. I mean, it's really interesting. I think that Nick Nurse, I think he could be solid, but I don't know if he would do better than Budenholzer. I don't know if any of those coaches would do better than Budenholzer. But we'll have to see. Maybe one of them get hired and they'll be proven wrong. But I have no idea. It could be Nick Nurse. That would be really interesting because for a lot of people, they would say it's a downgrade, even if it's not. But we'll have to see. Jokic, he misses a three. Christian Braun, he's not able to get that rebound. Now Landry shamming down the floor. 10:20 to go in the fourth. Now over to KD. Trying to drive on Jeff Green. He draws a foul. So that's probably a good strategy for Phoenix that they probably needed to employ earlier in the game, getting to the line, but I don't know if that would have saved them either. Go Tigers. I don't like Nurse. I would try Atkinson, see what he would be like. Vogel's a defensive coach. They need help on offense, not defense, really. Yeah, I guess to Edwards' point, probably go with Atkinson, but I don't know. I mean, I just feel like none of those coaches would potentially do better than Nurse. I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. It really is, but we'll have to see. Definitely don't know until they try a new coach. But just for the Bucks, just hope that it doesn't go downhill from here. Because sometimes when you fire a coach that was doing solid for you, maybe not where you want to be, and then it goes downhill. We've seen so many coaches. You look at Nebraska back in the day with Bo Pelini. They fired him after Osborne. He was going 8-4, and it went worse from there. And you look at Auburn. You have Gus Malzahn. They fire him. And unfortunately, it went downhill from there. I know that teams want to win, but you got to sometimes be satisfied with where you're at, because it could get worse. You got to make sure your next coach is a slam dunk hire, or firing the coach that you had just doesn't make sense. Like trading for Durant for Phoenix. If you have to make sure you're a better team with Kevin Durant than without him. And unfortunately for Phoenix, they just don't have the depth. It's not that KD's not a great player, but they don't have the depth. And now Denver just hit another three. 108-82. Denver's trying to squash any attempt that Phoenix would have of coming back. KD top of the key. Kicks to Shamet. But Phoenix definitely is about out of this game. Denver is on a roll. They're leading big in this game, and time is running out. Durant for two, not able to make that shot. Nana says, still hanging in there. Would have loved to see a game 7, but it is what it is. I really appreciate you for watching, Nana. Sorry it was a blowout. I know a lot of people wish it was a closer game, and I really appreciate you for being here. Unfortunately, we won't get a game 7, but we will see game 7 with Boston, Philly. It's going to be very interesting. Maybe Miami, the Knicks, or the Warriors, Lakers, one of those games will go to game 7 as well. But I really appreciate you for watching. Means a lot. Jokic for 2, 110-82. So a 28-point lead for Denver, 9 to go in the fourth. Still a big lead for Denver. Jock Landale with the basketball right now. Kicks to KD. Back to Landale. His shot's off the mark. You got to make that one. That was like a 2-footer. You just could not get it to drop. It went in and out. Jock Landale loved the effort, but just could not get that shot to fall when Phoenix needs it most. Jokic on the other end. 8:40 to go in the fourth. Back to Jeff Green. Over to Caldwell Pope to Jokic. The passing is exquisite from Denver. Jokic in the lane. He's fouled. So he'll have some more free throws. He'll probably make them because the fact Denver is up big. The Ohio State says, yeah, go tired nerves a little overrated. He has so much talent trying to get him that title, and he hasn't adjusted with the Raptors in years since probably left. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I still feel like the biggest problem with the Raptors is they didn't have enough guards. They had too many wings. OG Anunoby, Scotty Barnes, fantastic players. But when you've got a lineup of Jakob Poeltl, Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby, Scotty Barnes, those are 4 guys over 6'7" live. And then you got Fred VanVleet. And then you bring Gary Trent off the bench. That is not enough guard talent in a league that's dominated by guards. It's like the Raptors, the only team that just weren't guard-oriented. They were forward and center-oriented. It just doesn't work. It's crazy. Go Tigers to Zach. He's been one of the worst head coach in the NBA since that title. You got to have talent to win, though. I mean, you have to have talent to win. Jokic hits both free throws. But you also have a team that's constructed properly as well, and a lot of guys that can score. So it's 30-point lead for Denver again, 112-82. And it looked like another turnover for Phoenix, but maybe Denver turned it over. Maybe their foot was on the out-of-bounds line, not 100% sure. Esco says, do you think that Knicks or Warriors can force a game 7? I think both are possible. I really think that it's possible. The Knicks, though, their offense really strong. Quickly is out, which is tough. And the Warriors, if Wiggins is out, if Wiggins does not play, the Warriors it'll be really difficult for them to be able to have a chance to win that game. I would probably say the Knicks would have a better chance if Wiggins is out. But we'll have to see on that as well. We'll know all the injury reports by tomorrow night for sure before the game. But I think that at least one of those games could definitely happen. But maybe the Knicks is more likely. Go Tigers. The Knicks can if Randall plays better. He has been so bad in the Heat series. Yeah, he has struggled. He didn't play better in the last game, which is why the Knicks won. Cameron Payne, 4-3, and he knocks down another shot. Cameron Payne has been playing well. He's got to be close to 30 points. He has played really, really well. Just unfortunate for Phoenix fans, they have not gotten a lot else. Yeah, Cameron Payne, 27 points, and he's 7-7 from 3. He has not missed a 3. 7-7, a perfect 7 for 7, 21 points from 3. Cameron Payne been playing great. If he was not, Phoenix would be down by a lot. I mean, they could be down by 40 if Cameron Payne wasn't having a good night. And Christian Braun, the other, and he misses a layup he could have made. 7:20 to go in the fourth. Landry Shamet for 3. His shot's no good. Jeff Green with the board. 7:15 to go in the fourth quarter. Eskos and Monty Woods got to go as well. Has to. I mean, it's possible. I mean, again, the way these coaches are getting fired these days, like Nick Nurse, Mike Budenholzer, if Doc Rivers loses, in Game 7, he could get fired. Monty Williams get fired. Who knows? We'll have to see. But, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility for sure. The Ohio State, I think the Warriors have a better chance because they are the Warriors. I think both Heat and Lakers close it out tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, like you said, the Ohio State, I feel like the Warriors would normally have a better chance, but if Wiggins is out, I mean, who knows if Wiggins will be out. That would be really hard. I don't know. Go Tigers. The Warriors can also, if they shoot well and the free throw numbers don't get out of hand, yeah, the Warriors will have to hit a lot of threes. The Warriors, the only way they're going to be able to win is if they shoot and make a lot of threes. That's how they're going to get it done. It's going to be really interesting. I'm looking forward to both games tomorrow for sure. But I really appreciate you guys for being here tonight. It's unfortunate that it really wasn't a close game, but I really do appreciate you guys for being here tonight. It means a lot. You guys make it worth doing so much. You guys are awesome. The Ohio State, my friend who works for the Bucks thinks Nick Nurse is the front. He seems iffy about those. He isn't the biggest Nurse fan either. Well, I mean, the problem again with the Nick Nurse hire is that you want to make sure that your next coach is better than Budenholzer. Because why did you fire Budenholzer? Because he wasn't doing good enough. You want to do better. So you want to improve from Budenholzer. That's why you fired him. It doesn't make sense to get Nick Nurse where you have absolutely no proof that he would be better than Budenholzer. And he probably won't be better than Budenholzer, more than likely. I don't know if any of those coaches on that list will be better than Budenholzer. It's not the fact I don't think they can be or can't be. It's just the fact that Budenholzer won a title and they made, the NBA Finals a couple years. I mean, what he did was solid. It's not like he was bad. I know he had a great team, but again, you have to have great players to win. You look at Greg Popovich at the Spurs. They went from having Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili winning titles to now they have one of the youngest teams in the league, and they're trading their best players away into DeJounte Murray to the Hawks, and they can't win. And no one's saying Greg Popovich can't coach. People are probably saying he should retire. But, I mean, it's the fact that if you don't have great players or enough of them, you're not going to win. So, or you don't have a properly constructed roster. So for the Bucks, I mean, they won games because they had great players and they have an elite player in Giannis. But I mean, Chris Middleton was out in that one series, and Giannis missed some time this past series. That's not Budenholzer's fault. I mean, if you have guys out that are injured, I mean, there's nothing you can do about it, even with Monty Williams. I mean, yes, this performance is awful, but Chris Paul and Ayton are out. I don't know if Chris Paul and Ayton would allow Denver to be in this game at all, but it wouldn't be this bad. So it's interesting for sure. I don't know. Esco says Denver Nuggets players place yourself toward that new resource now because this thing is over. That's a funny one for sure. I completely agree with you, Esco. Denver playing great. I mean, this is a fantastic performance. Ohio State is a campaign 7 for 7 from 3. That's insane. I mean, like literally their only bright spot. I mean, if you take away his 27, just say he had 10. If he had 10 points right now, then Phoenix would only have like 68 points. So they would be down by almost 50 if it wasn't for Cameron Payne doing what he's doing. That's nuts. That is incredible. Michael Williams says, good night. I appreciate it. Michael Williams, hope you sleep good as well. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. The Ohio State says, I wonder if the Bucs should promote someone internally from an experienced assistant coach to head coach, since that person could adjust better and already knows the players and everything. Could, but still, how is that an upgrade from Budenholzer unless the assistant coach is just better? It's interesting. I have no idea. I mean, it's just interesting. The Bucs are just going to have to hope that their next coach is better than Budenholzer, because it's going to be hard to top 68% winning percentage, an NBA title, and making the finals a couple years and making the playoffs every single year. That's going to be tough to top. If the Bucs start to struggle in the future, they're probably going to wish they kept Budenholzer and just didn't, maybe win many more titles and they lost some. I mean, I don't know. I mean, who knows? They could be way better. The Bucs are in an interesting spot right now because they could be way better without Budenholzer if they hire the right guy. But if they hire the wrong guy, they're going to wish they had Budenholzer. It's going to be interesting. Who knows what's going to happen? It could really go either way. I have no idea. I could see the Bucs getting better or worse after this. Jokic hits both free throws, 114.85. Go Tiger says, if I'm the Suns, I keep Williams and trade Ayton for the Pacers center and get some depth piece, get to wait for who becomes a free agent. Paul can't be your only point guard. They should try and get Bay from Atlanta. I think some of those moves are good, and they're going to have to change the roster up, though, because as is, it's not going to work. They're not going to win an NBA title as is. Get more depth, maybe trade Ayton, who knows. Very interesting stuff, but I think that they're going to have to do something because as is, it's not going to work. 114.85, 6:40 to go, and unfortunately, the misery for Phoenix is about done. It's going to be sad. They're going to be upset for a long time, the fans. It's very unfortunate for them. Cameron Payne finally missed a 3, by the way, but it's very unfortunate for Phoenix. I mean, they have a really good team. They just don't have the depth. The Durant trade was good, but they just don't have the depth. They're a really good team. The top talent's great, especially when healthy, but they just don't have the depth. So it's going to be very interesting what they do. Very unfortunate for Phoenix fans. Some of them are trying to tough it out, but a lot of them have left. Bunny Boiler, thanks for being here. He says today's results disappoint me. Yeah, I mean, the Boston-Philly game was low scoring. It was kind of close, but it wasn't the most offensively pleasing game ever because of the fact that Boston and Philly didn't do good on the offensive end. But this game right here was a blowout. But, I mean, at least we're getting a Game 7 out of Boston-Philly. But it's very unfortunate that this game wasn't close. But I really appreciate you guys for being here through it all. It's been awesome having you guys watching with me. Really appreciate it. Cameron Payne scores a 2. Cameron Payne been awesome tonight now with 29 points. 114-87, 27-point deficit for Phoenix, 6 to go in the fourth. Go Tire said the Bucks want to keep Giannis. You need to get his input for the next head coach, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, he's your centerpiece. I mean, what he definitely would prefer plays a role, because you definitely don't want Giannis to leave and go elsewhere, because if that happens, your whole franchise is not going to be in great shape at all. I mean, Giannis is the Bucks right now. Cameron Payne to Landell, over to Torrey Craig. Now outside to Landry Shamet. Phoenix starting to pass the ball, but they have all their starters out. Shamet hits a 3, 114-90, but Durant is out, and also Booker. They've got all their bench players in the game. 5:36 to go in the fourth. Timeout. Denver Nuggets. Michael Malone just trying to make sure that Denver doesn't blow the lead, but I think he should be good in that regard, but just wanting to talk things over nonetheless, because Phoenix has cut it to 24. They've done this several times, though. Phoenix has cut it to like 23, 22, 25, but they can't get it under that. They've never been able to get into the teens again since the third quarter, early in the third quarter. So I don't know. I think that, or actually might have been since the first half. I don't think they've had in the teens since the first half. So Phoenix, they've definitely, ever since that 27-26 mark in the first quarter, and you had that technical foul that put Denver up 28-26. Ever since then, it's been a complete free fall, and Phoenix is completely falling apart, and Denver has been on a roll, a 24-point lead. Very unfortunate for Phoenix fans, though, that 2 years in a row, you got blown out in an elimination game. Dallas last year did it, and now Denver's doing it this year. And Chris Paul, his window's almost gone. And Durant, I mean, who knows how long he'll stay there and how long, him being elite in the NBA will be. Booker's young, Ayton's young, but a lot of people, including Edward, think that they don't need to keep Ayton. So I don't know. I mean, the Suns are in an interesting spot. I mean, they have the potential to win an NBA title, but I don't know. I mean, just this team as is right now, I just don't know if they can get it done. Some interesting teams right now. You look at the Raptors, they're in an interesting spot. The Bucks right now with Budenholzer gone. It's going to be interesting to see if they can improve without Budenholzer or not, and whether they're going to regret or be happy with the decision they made, because, again, it could turn out really well with Budenholzer gone, but it could also not. The Raptors with Nick Nurse gone, who knows what they're going to do, whether they'll blow the team up or keep the team together, get some guards, who knows. Phoenix, they got some interesting moves to be made. Will they keep Monty Williams? I don't know. It's just a lot of interesting moves being made by NBA teams. Could be a lot of fluctuation with teams right now. Teams that are perceived as good right now in a couple of years could not be, especially if they blow the whole thing up. It's going to be very interesting to see, but we'll definitely find out in a couple of years how all this stuff's going to go with all these teams. The Ohio State says, I wonder who is available on the coaching carousel that is better than Budenholzer. I mean, like, you completely 100% nailed my point, the Ohio State. You're absolutely right. Who is better than Budenholzer? I don't know. Like, who's available? I mean, somebody could be. And if that's the case, I'm really glad for Bucks fans for sure. Really happy. It would be awesome that they can get the coach that would, be able to get them where they want to be. But I just have no idea if they can do that or not. I don't know. And if they don't, it's going to be very tough to justify firing Budenholzer. It's going to be really interesting, though. If they can get a better coach, that would be great for them. Sergio C. Mendoza, thanks for being here. He says Jimmy, Luka, Jokic, Giannis, Kawhi, AD, Booker, and Embiid are all players better than KD. I completely agree with Jimmy Butler, Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic, Giannis, Anthony Davis, Devin Booker, and Embiid. I agree with those. I don't know about Kawhi Leonard, especially with the fact that KD still averages more. Tatum's better too. Tatum's better. That's a great list, though. It's a really great list. Kevin Durant's still great, but I don't know. It's not his fault, though, with Phoenix. They don't have the depth. The Ohio State's not in the health right now. I wonder how many more years Chris Paul played before he retired from the NBA. Probably 2 or 3. 3 max. I mean, he's 38 right now, I think. 37, 38, so probably 3. That's a great question, though. It'll be interesting. AJ, man, thanks for being here. Really appreciate you for stopping by, watching. Western European beat Sun on their home floor. They trade for KD and here come. Yeah, I mean, you look at Jokic from Europe. You look at Jokic, and he is a guy that, you talk about Giannis from Greece. You talk about Jokic from, Serbia. Some European players have been fantastic, and they've changed the way the NBA's played. You even think about guys like Stojakovic back in the day and his son now. I mean, some great players. So, they've definitely made, the American bigs, like, you talk about guys like DeAndre and Bam Adebayo. It's been a struggle for them because of the fact that they try to go out there and play the NBA at their style, but Jokic and Embiid and Giannis, some guys that, come over America, they make the NBA better because of the fact they're great players. So it's really interesting for sure. I think that overall, Phoenix just can't stop Jokic no matter what. Go Tigers says playing the title game against the Bucks was awful. Then in game 3, 4, and 8, it's just stood out of bounds and watched Joker get like 3 rebounds and then scoring. Yeah, it's interesting. It's really interesting. Go Tigers says, I don't know about Kawhi. He's always hurt and he has to load management. He still gets hurt. AD is made of glass. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I still think Kevin Durant's above Kawhi Leonard, but it's a great list. But I mean, the thing is that European players have made the NBA so great because these guys are awesome. These guys can shoot the ball at such a height. I mean, you look at Victor Wembanyama is going to come in the league. As long as he stays healthy, he's going to be fantastic. 7'4", 7'5", can shoot. I mean, he's like Chet Holmgren, but taller and can do incredible things at his height. But as long as if he stays healthy, he'll be great. If not, who knows? But yes, I mean, you got to give credit to the NBA for having all these guys from Europe, Africa, and all these places play at such a high level. These guys are awesome players. I mean, they make the NBA a great league, and it makes all players want to be better and improve their craft because you have to do these things if you want to play in the league. And if you're not a great player, you're not going to be in the NBA anymore. The NBA is that talented. Jokic is fun to watch, and Embiid, Giannis, I'm really glad that they're in the NBA. 116-94. Denver's up by 22. Via Ohio State, the European players have that finesse in their game. For sure. I mean, the floaters Jokic has, I mean, the touch he has is incredible. Most players couldn't dream of having that touch. I mean, Jokic is incredible. Cameron Payne, though, showing a little touch of his own. 116-96. 3:20 to go in the fourth. 20-point game, so Phoenix has cut it a little bit with the bench in, but I don't think Denver's playing as hard. But Jokic almost with a triple-double again. 30 points, 9 boards, 11 assists. He needs one more rebound to get a triple-double. Incredible. Now you've got Murray in the lane. He's off the mark. The Ohio State's campaign will head to the offseason with a ton of confidence. That's a positive at least, for sure. I mean, if he could improve, maybe he could be some of that depth that Phoenix needs, but they definitely need more depth than that. They need a lot more depth for sure. 2:50 to go, and Jokic got that board. Triple-double, 30 points, 10 boards, 11 assists, and he deserves this game. To win this game. Him and the rest of his team, as they played at a high level, he deserves it. He is sweating to death. He played so hard. You got to give him a ton of credit. Go Tigers says you can't be elite, not be healthy. Health matters. That's a good point. I mean, you have to be healthy. I agree. 3 triple-doubles in a playoff series. Nikola Jokic, Russell Westbrook, Jason Kidd, Magic Johnson, Wilt Chamberlain, Oscar Robertson all have done it. That's insane. That's a great list. It's just showing, again, how great Jokic is when you're on a list with players like that. Fantastic. 117-96, Jokic is the first. But I agree with you, where I think health does matter about being elite. It's unfortunate if you're not healthy, but you got to be on the floor. If you're not on the floor, it's really hard, to help your team because you're not on the floor. You've got to be able to play. It's tough. So, I mean, I agree with you. I think it does definitely play a role in the perception of a player with health. They're taking Murray out. Jokic, he knocks down another free throw, 118-96, and we're 2:46 away from Denver moving on to the Western Conference Finals to face the Los Angeles Lakers or the Golden State Warriors. What a game by the Denver Nuggets. They smothered Phoenix from wire to wire. Cameron Payne in the corner. He can't hit that three. Caldwell Pope knocks the ball out of bounds, but they're giving it to Denver. They're saying it's off Phoenix. The Ohio State is yet another triple-double for Jokic. Incredible. It is incredible how great he is playing. He is a fantastic player. Denver is so glad to have him on their team. 2:36 to go in the forecourt. Caldwell Pope, he cooled off, but he had 21 points, 5 rebounds, most of that in the first half. He was great. Set the tone early. That's what you got to do. Set the tone early. Kind of felt like Cam Payne maybe was doing that for Phoenix, but just wasn't enough around him. The Ohio State, it would be great to see Jokic and the Nuggets finally win a title. Yeah, they could. And the way they're playing right now, they definitely could. Reggie Jackson for 3. He's in the game. Reggie Jackson knocks down that 3. He don't even play that much. He's a solid player as well. Thomas Bryant, they have him. He don't even play much. I mean, they don't even bring him in anymore. They've got a deep team. They have got a deep team. You just can't beat the depth from Denver. I mean, maybe Boston. Boston and Denver have to be the 2 deepest teams. It's incredible. Now, finally, Jokic is coming out of the game. 2:11 left in the 4. 121-96. Incredible performances by Jokic, Caldwell Pope, Murray, and the whole entire team. Go Tigers is the only problem with teams out west. Their defense is not great. Yeah, it's true. Most of them are. I think kind of like you've mentioned, Edward, before about Ayton, DeAndre Ayton. That's why he does good in the West, because there's not as many great bigs in the West besides Jokic. If you talk about the East, they have so many great bigs. You have to be an elite big to, be able to hold your own against the top players. Ayton tries, but unfortunately Ayton wasn't even able to give his services tonight. That was really tough. I think Ayton could have helped some, but I don't know if Ayton could have helped Phoenix have a shot to win, even with Paul in as well. I mean, the way Denver played, they were in complete control. 2:04 to go in the fourth, 121-96. Cam Payne's at the line. Michael Malone, he is so happy. He can smell a victory. He is over there high-fiving his team. The Ohio State says, I totally forgot Reggie Jackson is on the Nuggets. Amazing how much depth the Nuggets have. I mean, I completely agree. And you've got guys like Thomas Bryant that don't even play. He was putting up a double-double when Anthony Davis was out the Lakers. They've got Reggie Jackson. They've got a complete team. Again, don't know if they'll win it all, but they could. It's going to be very interesting to see if they can. Cameron Payne, he missed both free throws. That could be fatigue, but Cameron Payne, he has not done much wrong tonight, but he was not able to hit either free throw. Under 2 to go in the fourth. 121-96. You've got Denver with the basketball, and they're about to get a big victory here. Under 150 to go in the fourth. An incredible performance. Watson in the lane, he misses a 2, and Phoenix with the board right there. 140 to go in the fourth. Phoenix driving in the lane, and they lay it in. 121-98. It's all window dressing, but still nice for these guys to get some playoff experience, even though for Phoenix, their players are on the losing end. 121-98. So unfortunate for Phoenix fans. 2 years in a row, Phoenix lost in a blowout, but maybe they'll have better things in the future, better times. They can get some more depth. That's definitely a priority this offseason, especially if they do keep Durant. And you've got Denver on the other end laying it in. 123-98. Monty Williams, he's upset. It's going to be interesting to see with him, whether Phoenix keeps him or not. Some people speculate and stuff there, but we'll have to see. But Phoenix, they did have 2 players injured. You just can't do anything about that. Lead for 2 for Phoenix, 123-100. A 23-point deficit. You know Ayton and Paul are upset. I don't know if it would have made a difference, but it would have been closer than this. It would not have been a big loss like this. Under 1 minute to go, and you're going to have Denver in the Western Conference Finals to face the winner of the Lakers and the Warriors. Denver fans are rejoicing. Denver, they have a team capable of maybe winning an NBA title this year. We'll have to see. Denver scores again. 125-100. 45 seconds left in the fourth quarter. It's almost done. Phoenix can't do anything about it. They are down big. They just really struggled in this game after the first quarter. Lee for 3. His shot's off the mark. Watson with the rebound. 30 seconds left. What a performance from Denver, though. I mean, the fact that Caldwell Pope set the tone, then Jokic had a triple-double, just played great, and then you had Jamal Murray, and then the rest of the players just playing a hollow. Everybody that came into the game gave maximum effort for Denver, and they were up 30 at the half, and that was the difference. The fact they were already up 30 at the half proved to be the difference. 81-51, and you just had a complete struggle from Phoenix ever since they fell behind. It's just nothing that you could do about it. Boston won a big game earlier, 95-86, to make that go to Game 7, but Denver, 125-100. Phoenix is dribbling it out, and that is the final. Denver's moving on. They are the first team to advance to the conference finals. Denver is in the Western Conference Finals. They advanced to 5th conference finals in franchise history, one of 6 out of franchise, and never reached NBA finals, and they could get it done. The Ohio State, if you are the Nuggets, would you rather face the Lakers or the Warriors? Great question. I would almost say the Lakers because of the Warriors' shooting ability. When they're healthy, I mean, they're incredible when they're healthy and shooting the ball at a high level. I know the Lakers, you got Anthony Davis, maybe pose a problem for, Jokic down low. Have no idea. We'll have to see. But I would almost say the Lakers. I almost would, because I think that Denver's guards can handle the guards of the Lakers better. But the Warriors, their guards are incredible. I think that is an interesting question for sure. The Ohio State says Warriors and nobody can remotely stop Jokic for later. AD can at least contain Jokic somewhat. I mean, it's a great point. I think that is true for sure, and that's where you could argue the Warriors would be a better match. But the Warriors' guards and wings would make it tough on Denver's guards and wings. I think that would be interesting. But if you definitely are looking for just Jokic to be able to dominate, it would be the Warriors, because Looney and Draymond Green, the height disadvantage is there. They're not going to be able to slow down Jokic on the glass. Jokic would probably have his way. So, I mean, you can look at it both ways. Go Tigers says the Warriors. A healthy AD would be a problem for Joker, I mean, it's a good point. I could really go either way. I could see it both ways. The Ohio State's Warriors do have that experience, so it will be interesting. It will be for sure. We're going to find out who Denver's going to play potentially tomorrow if the Lakers do find a way to win. But if not, then you'll have a game 7 there, and Denver will have to wait a little longer. But we'll have to see. But the NBA playoffs are getting really interesting. Denver, the first team to make it to the conference finals, and now we're going to have to wait Boston, Philly, Miami, and the Knicks. And also you're going to have to find out with the Lakers and the Warriors, those 3 other games, but it's going down the wire. The second round is almost coming to a close, and we're about to be going to the conference finals. But I really appreciate you guys for being here tonight. Like the stream down below. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Share the stream out on social media. But more importantly, I appreciate you guys for being here. You guys are awesome. You guys are the reason it makes it worth doing. I appreciate you guys so much. What a game tonight. Wasn't close, but Denver, great performance. 81 points in the first half. That proved to be the difference. They were elite in the first half and fantastic all game long. What a win for the Denver Nuggets. Great stream as always. Have a great rest of the night. Really appreciate you, via Ohio State. I hope you do as well. Have a great night. But appreciate you for being here. But Boston got a big win. That series is tied 3-3. We'll find out what happens there. And with Denver, Phoenix, Denver has moved on. Unfortunately for Phoenix, a lot of questions for Phoenix. We'll have to see. Go Tigers. Anthony Davis have to have 4, and you can match up Murray versus Vanderbilt. Interesting there. Some interesting stuff. Really appreciate you being here as well. Edward as well. But for sure, so many great games that we're going to have coming. It's going to be awesome. But what a win for the Denver Nuggets. They're moving on to the Western Conference Final. Really appreciate you guys for being here. You guys were awesome. What a game. What the 2023 NBA playoffs have delivered so far, and we're not even close to being done yet. What a win for the Denver Nuggets. They moved on, and Phoenix has a lot of questions in the future, what they're going to do with their team. Monty Williams, Kevin Durant's going to be very interesting for sure. Go Tigers, says Bleed Green. Jason, the old millennial, thanks for being here. So happy for Denver. Really appreciate you for being here as well, but thanks for being here, everybody. What a win for the Denver Nuggets. Thanks for being here, everybody.